Hello everyone, I'm Lotus and I'll bring you here Gods of the Twilight Early Access for PC. So it came out today. The game is developed and published by Evolution Designs. So basically this is a visual novel. The Early Access has the first 5 chapters, and in season 1 we'll have 20 chapters. So it will take a while until it gets all the chapters throughout uh, the early access, and like the first 5 chapters already are fully voiced if I'm not mistaken, so it's gonna take a while for other chapters to come out because they're gonna need to voice over all of those dialogues and stuff for the 20 chapters that is the first season. So yeah, this will have choice, typical of visual novel. Of course it will not have endings for now because if the first season is 20 chapters and now only has 5, you won't get any ending if I'm not mistaken because you cannot see that. So let us see. Whose story will you start with? So you can start with the dude, Farkas, or the girl, Altia. Let's start with Farkas. The game is intended for 17 plus audience. It contains foul language, sexual themes, scripty violence, and other mature topics not for the faint of heart. Characters are flawed and can say and do some nasty things that don't reflect the dev's films. Do not consider valid copies of the game can be found on Steam. Okay. Let us see. By the way, I removed the voice because like that I can be fast myself, to talk. So okay. Welcome to God of Twilight. Since you are starting a new game, do you want a tutorial? Alright, tell me everything. No problem, first things first. Advance in text. Click anywhere on the screen to advance the text, anywhere other than buttons. Okay, that is easy. You can use spacebar and enter. Okay, now that you are not going to get stuck staring at the screen wondering why nothing's happening, let me introduce myself. I'm Hector. I got volunteered to do tutorial because apparently I'm the closest thing we have to a mascot, whatever that means. Anyway, this game comes with a few handy features to help you explore the story the way you want. The first goes in auto function. If you toggle it on, the text will keep advancing. Yes, we already know that. Though some people also prefer click through manually so that they have more control. You can find settings, include speed of the text on the menu, skip function, yes, quick save and quick load, it's easy to understand. Back function for all of you. Oh, I wish I didn't do that. And what was that? I wasn't paying attention. It's okay. You can also scroll up, also in the middle mouse. Alright. But we want there's a limit to how far you can go back. Okay, so it might help you fix a brain fart, but it won't fix your whole life. Make sure you still save before important choice. Other than that, there are a few things to know about this game specifically. So they promise you a lot of choice and consequence, right? Those add up throughout the game. Some choices have unique consequences and will be specific reference later on. Others will increase or decrease your affection scores with different characters. Many do both. You already made an important choice just now between Farkas and Althea. They are both adorable in their own ways, in my opinion, but they don't tell them I say that. I'll rather tell them myself. If we end up getting along, that is. Anyway, you picked Farkas, so you'll play his intro first. You still play Althea's scenes, but later on. There are scenes that change based on who you chose to identify with more. So different options reveal different story details similar to any other choice. When you gain or lose affection, you'll see a notification like this one. Alright? Thought you might not see it right away when you make the choice, but later when the character actually reacts. Just like real life, you don't always know the consequence of your actions until later. If you miss the notification, you can scroll up or hit back until you see it again. Right now, you get affection from me for listening to me talk. It won't count in game, though, since the tutorial is outside the plot. As for the points themselves, some choices will gain or lose more points than others. But again, like real life, all you can see is the character's reaction, not the number. So you'll have to judge how a big deal it is from the contest. Okay. Still, then later on, if you want to build your relationship with certain characters, you might get turned away if you don't have enough affection with them. That doesn't just apply to romance. You could just be asking for someone's help or wanting to get closer as a friend. But don't worry, if I reject you, I'll do my best to be nice about it. On second thought, that depends on what you've done, because you can do some pretty terrible shit in this game. Anyway, I know what you're thinking. Is this guy one of those humble Norse gods they told me about? Well, maybe. Take me to dinner first. Okay. Actually, I don't know the answer to that. If I had a past life as something else, I don't remember. Besides, this game also has humble humans and other kinds of beings, and they are pretty special too. You'll just have to get to know us first and unravel those mysteries as you go. As for the Ramos part, you saw the warning screen before this, right? To put it in movie terms, the game rated R, not X, so don't get your hopes up too high. There will be new chapters released over time, and your decision will carry over from the previous chapter, so stay tuned and follow the game socials for updates. Typical. That's about it, have fun. Alright. Chapter 0, Farkas Part 1. This pain, it's like I've been hacking for ages, as long as I can remember. I can't move. Was I ever able to move? I tried to stretch my limbs, but there's something stopping me. This can't be how it always was. There's a strange taste in my mouth, and renewed pain as I shift and push. Is this blood? Sleep calls to me. How long have I been here, waking to this darkness, only to drift off again, into dreams I can barely remember. But there's something else, and my eyes burn definitely against the pull of hibernation. The ones who did this to me, I see their face now. Some scornful, some indifferent, some amused. That's it. It's that keeps me going, awakening again and again, straining against what holds me. They will know my pain. Wait, my thoughts, my memories, they are scattering to the wind, vanishing. Who am I again? I wake up with a jolt, looking around in confusion. Wait, we can increase a little bit then the music. Thought it would be louder in game, but it isn't. I wake up with a jolt, looking around in confusion. Where am I? I feel the sweat sticking to my body. Was I having a nightmare? My head. It must have been intense, but now the waking world is coming back to me, and I remember. I'm in my room, obviously. Where did I think I was? What's up with these dreams lately? I wake up feeling like something heavy just happened, but I have no idea what. Hmm. Is my mind blocking something out? I'm not sure how it works, but I've heard about people completely blocking out things from their past, like if they have PTSD. I don't have anything like that. Why? I'm sure I've been through some things, especially with the gang I end up quitting. But as far as I know, I remember all of it. New image available in gallery. Sluggish, I stand up and head to the mirror in the bathroom. My face is there, same as always, with the familiar mess of black hair on top. What was I expecting? What was I expecting? Something else? That dream must have really shaken me up. I shake my head and give myself a smirk. Morning, loser. New Reykjavik. Whatever, no need to be dramatic about it. I'm back in the real world now, back in New Reykjavik, same place I've been in my entire life. Some people around here might remember old Reykjavik, but not me. And I'm curious about it. Signing up for a scuba tour for the oft-sunken city won't exactly be cheap. For me, this massive floating dumpster of a city is the only place I've ever called home. I don't really see myself moving. Either that's expensive too, but hey, better my dumpster than someone else, I guess. But my head feels weird and my hand. What? My right hand is wrapped in a bloodstained bandage. My fists are sore. My ribs are sore. What the? How? It looks like I wrapped my torso and arms too, like I used it for extra protection against cuts and hits. I vaguely remember feeling on edge, like I thought someone might try to. What the hell? Damn, now I'm imagining things. I shake my head. It's been a couple of years since I got into a real fight. What happened yesterday? Better clean this cut and get ready to go. I'm not looking forward to school, but it won't be much longer. One more year until graduation. I'm back in my room when I hear someone call. Farkas, I sigh, making a slow, casual turn to face the voice. Yeah? The door slides up with a thud, reveal Ekla's intense stare piercing me all the way from the doorway. Hecla's my adult guardian, so to speak. I mean, she adopted me and all the official paperwork lists me as Farkas Heckle's son. But I've never thought of her as my mom. She looks at me with furrowed brows, and I can't tell whether she's more angry or worried. Good, you're up. Now get downstairs and help me open. You owe me at least that much after what you put me through last night. She turns and starts heading back down, clearly expecting me to follow. What I put you through? Besides, I got to get to school. You can spare 15 minutes. You are not running that late. She doesn't stop walking, her words ringing up the stairs. I sag and head down. She probably wants to lecture me, but there's no time if she wants the pub up and running for breakfast. So yeah, I basically live at the pub, but like upstairs. It's called Ice and Dice, funny name, but don't make fun of it. The owner will kick you in the face. So between that and these weird fucking bottles on the ceiling, new customers seem amused by them, so I guess that's cool. She calls it quirky, but I call it not wanting to pay for real decorations. I mean, we have the glowing banners over the bar, but we are the ones getting paid to show ads on those. Sometimes I help by sweeping the floor and cleaning the tables or getting the place set up to open like I am now. I don't mind doing it, it's annoying, but whatever now. We're gonna say I actually kinda enjoy the work. I like working with my hands, it's kinda relaxing. It's also nice to feel like I'm making things easier for Hecla. She works so hard on this place, and earning a bit of spending money here and there isn't bad either. Not such thing as too young to work in this part of the city, not in practice anyway. I've heard older people say that they were not know about parts of town in old Reykjavik. I don't know if that's true, but I imagine it gets a bit tougher when a city has to use everything it's got just to stay afloat. No pun intended, goddammit. In my experience, if you are old enough to fight, you are old enough to help out. Just not that, just not old enough to drink the booze. Heiko keeps a close watch on me for that. Honestly, I never dared to try. She comes across a bit rough, but I saw her fighting for a real one sound. Since then, I knew none of the horseplay I ever got into with her could compare to the real thing. She can really dish it out. This woman must be a retired MMA fighter or something. I start taking these chairs from where they are stored on top of the tables and setting them upright on the floor. They are not heavy, so my uninjured hand works well enough. Heiko's behind the bar, turning on the lights and grills and checking over the stock of drinks, food, napkins. But her voice follows me around the room while we click through our tasks like a couple well-oiled machines. So, what were you up to last night, huh? The fuck did I do last night? I still don't remember. I was just out and somehow ended up unconscious, carried on by a kind stranger who must seen you here before. You were all bloody, your face swollen, a cut on your hand. Why are you getting to knife fights? I thought you were steering clear of all that now. Well, it was worth a try. I finished all the tables in the main area in front of the bar, so I head around the corner to the side area with all the booths. Not looking back, I shrug as I answer. I honestly don't remember, but I probably got into a fight. She comes out from behind the bar and follows me. No kidding, probably? Don't remember? Are you for real? I look at her seriously, just as confused as she is, and she finally realizes I'm not just dodging the question. I have no clue where I was last night, who I was with, or who I was fighting. I see. Damn, we need to get you checked out. Her eyes trail away from me and she seems to consider something, her brows furrowed with worry. But then she forced herself to smile, as if brushing the thought aside. Just means I get to have you around all the more to compensate me for the healthcare fees. Your choice, your responsibility. You are a legal adult now, after all. Every year that shit gets more expensive. 2 year echo play, you'll think the government used to cover almost all of it. But whatever, everything keeps getting more expensive, as she likes to remind me. I stare at her and sigh. Was that her way of trying to lighten the mood? I mean, will it kill her to just say she cares? Seriously, Todd, take care of yourself. Whoa, she actually. If you die, you'll never be able to pay me back. God damn it. Whatever, I'm late for school. Hold on. It looks like she's about to snap at me about something else, but why don't you sit down? I was starting some eggs. I come closer to the bar, I could hear and smell them starting to sizzle on the other side, but I didn't realize they were for me. I thought she was getting the to-go breakfast menu ready. She actually a pretty good parent if I never quit felt like her kid. She was always honest about the fact that I was adopted. When I was little, she said my parents loved me but weren't around anymore, and that's why she stepped in to help. You'll think she just said that to be nice, but she did know them. This jacket apparently belonged to my dad after all. I was always wondered why he patched on this red tree. Though seems like a funny logo for a gang, if that's what it is. But if he was in the gang, Hecla doesn't talk about it. She just say he work in the construction. My parents weren't anything special, just a working class couple. Anyway, she didn't make me call her my mom. so I didn't. She's single, never got married as far as I know. Never had any interest, I guess. No biological kids, that's just me. So yeah, I try not to make her regret it. It's fine, I'm late anyway, I'll just sit on the way. She gives me a very unimpressed stare. Just sit down and eat them eggs before I send them directly at your face. Can you not give yourself 5 minutes to digest and enjoy your food after getting yourself beaten to a pulp the night before? I don't know if I will say to a pulp. As I sit down, I notice customers starting to arrive. Someone approached from the far corner of the side area. Was he lying down in one of the booths? Did I just walk right past him and not notice? Annette Heckle doesn't seem surprised. Did she know he was there? She must have. He has one of our mugs on his hand. He sets it on the counter. Hey there, kid. His clothes are covered in grime, and there's a damn smell about him. Yet he apparently has enough money to buy a drink, and he's drinking this early in the morning? When did he even get that drink? There is something strange about his smile as he looks at me. Drowning your sorrow so early, old man? He might be a customer, but I tend to be blunt regardless. Watch it. He's been here since last night, on my invitation. I frown. What's she talking about? You two dating? Echo glanced to me, then raised an eyebrow at the old man. This kid has a death wish, apparently. The old man laughs, and Echo looks back at me. He's the one who found you yesterday and brought you here. You were unconscious, a total mess. You might owe him your life, so I paid him back with a mug of ale. You value my life very highly, I see. The old man laughs again. I stuck around to see if you are okay, that's all. But damn, kids your age recover so easily. Makes this old geezer miss his younger days for sure. As curious as I am about this guy, now I'm really late for school. Still, I don't want to be too much of an asshole. Well, thanks for saving my life or whatever. I could have said that better. This whole situation is so strange, it's throwing me off. Haha, I didn't. I just carry you here. I get a weird feeling as he says this, like something's off about his words, but I can't put my finger on what. What got you so fucked up, if you don't mind me asking, kid? I don't own an explanation about my life to some old washout, but I don't remember. It's all sort of a blank. Damn, they probably got you in the head. Hope you don't lose whatever sense you got left. Yeah, real cute. Heckle just frowns and looks at me with worried eyes. Whatever, I gotta get moving. Don't die out there, kid. Hee hee. By the way, which one is quick save? Should be this one, right? Echo starts serving the next batch of eggs to the old man as I head out. Should I have asked his name? I know I'm not the best at social shit. Thought he also didn't need to be such an ass about the fact that I almost died anyway. My mind wanders back to yesterday, but a sharp pain pierced my forehead and I remember nothing. Fine. Let's just get to school. There's a med office there if I really need it, and maybe these memories will come back to me during the day. With that, I will dash forward, my legs carrying me swiftly through the streets. It's kinda nice running, feeling the strength of my own legs, the air rushing past my face. It actually isn't so bad today. The air quality gets kinda shitty when the city ship isn't moving. Some people wear masks to filter it when they are outside, but that's definitely not needed now. Not for me anyway. I guess you could say I'm lucky. I'm in decent shape, I'm healthier than average. Just can't seem to stay out of trouble for reasons I can't remember. Farkas? Sarah, it's been a long time. What happened to your aunt? Don't worry about it. I wasn't expecting to run into you. Didn't think you'll want to talk to me after everything. We barely talked since the old mess around in my old gang 2 years ago. I figured she'll be better off away from me anyway. But yeah, I know. But I missed you. I thought aside. I could say the same, but I keep it to myself. As kids, we were inseparable. So it's been weird for me too. But at least I know she's safe from those guys. I want to ask how our family's treating her these days, but unless I can step in and help like I used to, speak up for her, give her somewhere else to be, I almost don't want to know. At least she's always been physically safe with them, whereas I don't know what the gang might do. What's to miss? I'm kind of an asshole. She giggles and her smile lights up her face, joy as intense as the worry that was there a second ago. Sure, you act like that now, but I knew you before all that, remember? I know that's not what you are really like. Still, I'd say some things, and it's probably still best if you aren't seen with me. If they think you are close to me again, then. So is that who did this? Your old gang? She reached over my bandaged hand with concern, but hesitates, probably not wanting to word if it's sore. No, this is. I just had an accident yesterday, that's all. I look away, it hurts to lie to her, but if she thinks I'm back to what I was like before. An accident? Are you sure? I think I'm gonna say the truth, but that can worry her, but at the same time the truth can be bad, right? Okay, so it increased saying the truth. Yes. There we go. Playing visual novels always compensates then to play in the future visual novels. When I woke up with this, I was surprised as you are. I wouldn't have started a fight, or I want nothing to do with any of that. Did you, did you hit your head? Maybe, yeah. Maybe now I'm even more messed up in the head. Arr. Fuck. Now I'm cutting her off. It was like a knee-jerk reaction. Remembering the old guy's joke. I wasn't joke about it. Head injuries are a real concern. Anyway, please see someone if you haven't already. Maybe we will see. Let's just go. She hesitates, pausing in her tracks. You mean go to school together? Weren't you still worried about those guys thinking I'm close to you? Um, well, why not go together? Forget about those assholes. There we go, see? That was a easy one. You sure? You coming or what? It seems kind of silly now. How long I've been avoiding her? Maybe this is a chance to move on, running into her like this. At the time she was getting caught between me and the gang and I was trying to break it off with and this the distance between us was the only way to stop them from harassing her too. Those guys are still around and no doubt they still have it out for me, but how long am I going to let them run my life? Maybe they will cause trouble for Sarah again. If they try, I'll deal with that when it happens. But for now, I kinda just want to spend time with her again. Sarah hops over, cheerfully keeping pace alongside me. I really thought I was used to being on my own, but damn, I miss this. Just having someone there. For a couple of years, she was really my only friend. When things got really bad, I did what I thought was best, but she deserves a lot better. We stick together until the school is inside, then I wave her goodbye and we part ways. Lessons are boring, or at least I can't seem to focus on them. I still have no clue what happened to me yesterday. If this keeps up, should I go to the hospital, or will that be an overreaction? I feel fine. I mean, I know memory loss can be serious, but am I worried people won't take it seriously because they can't see it? Because I can't prove it? Oh my god, get over yourself, Farkas. In the hall, I overhear something about transfer students. That again, why do people care so much about a couple rich foreigners dumb enough to move here? I guess having two of them, one after another, is kinda weird. Foreigners don't come here much in the first place. They'll rather see the mainland, not this trash heap. But I'm not gonna waste time trying to figure it out. Let's just get through the class for now. My grades aren't great, but that's not everything. Besides, it's not like I can't keep up. But it's always been hard to pay attention, not just today. Maybe I just don't like being talked down to. Plus, most of what we are learning just don't seem that important compared with everything else I have to worry about. I mean, what's the priority? Abstract math or being able to physically defend myself? Not having one of those augmented reality things doesn't help either. Some of my classmates had HUDs installed even when we were really young, but now basically everyone has one. So now instead of being able to just look around and get whatever info I need overlaid onto my view of the world, I have to physically pull out my phone like a fucking caveman. But when I talk about getting one installed, Ekla just say she doesn't trust them, whatever that means. That it will be nice to just instantly know everything like that, but if I'm honest with myself, that's just an excuse. If I actually try to get good grades, well, whatever. Walking home, I keep turning it all over in my head, trying to remember. The sound of raised voice shakes me out of my thoughts. Looks like a bunch of thugs about my age, at the mouth of an alley up ahead. I'm pretty sure they didn't bother with school today. Just out here digging around, shaking people down for value, selling drugs? Who knows? They say it didn't used to be like this in Iceland. I wish I could have seen that. These days, you see kids banding together like packs of wolves to get what they want. I'm not against fighting when I need to stand up for myself. I mean, that's part of what gets me in trouble, but right now two of them are beating up some small awkward kid while the other three stand around sideline watching. Their gear looks basics, no tech plates, no cybernetics, not that I would expect the average punk to afford anything like that. They probably figured this is a target they can handle. Cowards, just get a job. You are saying the only thing on you is a fucking banana? By the way, why else this doesn't disappear yet? The codex entry unlocked Sarah. She won't disappear at this point? Yeah, but you are in luck because the price of banana is about to skyrocket. Some problem with the hydroponics. I'm not supposed to talk about it, but if you take this, you could really cash in. The thugs exchange glances. Yeah, you are bullshitting. I'm not. Another swing, now the key's on the ground. Where's your fucking phone? Up my ass. Hold it. It's like a scene out of a movie or something. A stranger jumps in to aid those in need. Is that really what I'm seeing? Oh, now Hector is over here. There you go. Stop! In the name of Hector Koskinen. Yeah, I think the Silo one bucket. Uh, can I remove it? Where is it? Can I remove it from over here? By the way, gallery, what it is? No, you cannot remove. You got stuck in there. Huh? Who? I cannot ignore this injustice. Release the kid at once. Did this guy watch too many cartoons or what? Did he just say Koskinen? Isn't that the name of the guy who owns like half the internet? Yui's son or something? I think he was probably foreign since he showed up speaking English, though I couldn't tell where from since his accent is basically flawless. One of the transfer students I heard about, but then why would he be in a district like this? Indeed, the vertical corporation is the nerve center of the world's data. No doubt our algorithms are watching you right now. We are in your phones, we are on the street cams. You can't escape justice. Oh, there we go, it's appeared now, everything. Huh. He punched up at the security cam on the side of the building, as if the police will bother with something this small, even if some algorithm show it to them, unless it's actually who he says. One of the punks smirks, not buying it. Then why no one showing up to help you? Hector raised an eyebrow ominously. Are you going to stick around and find out? The thugs look around warily for a moment, but nothing happens. He's lying. How dare you? I reveal my identity and you accuse me of lying? Fine, I may have switched to privacy mode so I could explore without my guards getting in my way, but damn it, why would he ruin his own bluff? Just to prove he's not lying? This guy must be sheltered as hell. So what you're saying is, you really are the son of Satan, but you ditched your guards like a fucking idiot? Nice gaming gloves, by the way. I bet that jacket alone is worth like 1,000,000 kroner. Probably, what's that in euros? Like a few thousand? He just shrugs. Is he trying to get mugged? The other kid runs while he has chance. The third completely ignore him, focused on Hector. So, if all Hector wanted was to save him, I guess he succeeded. But they are surrounding him now, with metal knuckles pipes. It's 5 with weapons against 1 with nothing. He looks pretty screwed, but maybe he has a plan? Fuck, what am I doing? Am I seriously thinking about going in there? I usually carry a length of chain if I know to expect a fight. Not the most common choice, I know, but the chain gives you a reach while still being easy to carry. The only problem is I don't have it. With streets getting more dangerous every year, the school finally added metal detector at the door. My chain's at home. Haha, you will threaten me next, fools? I warn you, if you come at me, there's a violent glimmer in his eyes. Somebody's going to get hurt. The thugs all take a step back, unsettled by his confidence and thirst for battle. What is he? A martial artist? A vigilant? And it will be like me, likely me. You? You? The thugs jump to reach Ginger, clearly tired of his clown act. As expected, he's a mess. He gets punched and kicked. He's already on the ground. He's tall but not exactly strong, and he clearly doesn't know the first thing about fighting. Why did a guy like that go out of his way? That's what you get for helping others. That's what you get for getting involved. Damn it. The last thing I need is trouble with another gang. This guy dug his own grave. It's not my responsibility. Best to just keep walking. But I pause and start turning back around. Fuck. I hate this side of me. Hey, that's enough. I jump into the action, knocking one of the guys away from my act and pulling him back to his feet, ready to ward them off. You alright, Redhead? Ha, this was nothing. Don't say that while your mouth is bleeding, dumbass. Oh. He wipes his mouth. Thanks for coming to my aid, stranger. Now let's work together. Work together? He's already getting shit kicked out of him and he's still raring to go. Tell him to run away. Tell him you'll better not change his mind. Look, you got into this mess, so you don't do that, change your mind and run away on me. You are seeing this through. That's right, I don't care if he can't fight for shit. Even if he's no help at all, I'm not letting him just dump this on me without taking responsibility. But he raised his fist, a determined look in his eyes. He never had any intention of running, did he? But of course, together we shall prevail. Why does he keep talking like that, anyway? Some sort of goofy superhero act? He's weak and complete goofball, and probably won't be much help. It sucks, but it's still kinda nice having someone by my side. So it's sad we are fighting we are fighting together. Fine then, come on, let's do this. They swarm us like a pack of animals, losing their superior numbers. One of them goes to punch Hector. He takes it, but still standing. Heh, you got guts, King Ginger. As for me, I dodge. No way a punch like that will get me. People underestimate how important it is to stay mobile during a fight, but me, I've learned from a young age that if you can dodge, you dodge. Too slow, I simply step back to avoid the incoming swing and prepare my counter. Huh? The guy's fist flies off to the side, leaving him off balance and vulnerable for what's to follow. I kick. I'm no Shaolin monk, I never studied for martial arts, so I'm pretty awkward when I'm kicking. But then, if I can't hit with the strength of a mule when I line things up right. I step to the side and drive my heel into his stomach with a loud thud, sending him stumbling back. No more like flying back. Look at him go. Damn, he actually leaves the ground to hit the wall behind him. I guess I'm getting better at this. I was worried I might be out of practice or that my wounds will slow me down, but I guess not. I keep moving fast, swinging against my assailants before they can get to me. Some of them are taller or more muscular, but that's overrated. What really matters in fights like this is reflex and instinct. I focus on dexterity. Once you have enough experience, the flow of the fight becomes second nature, and that's what gives you an edge. Don't stand in one place, move, never give them a chance to surround you or pin you down. Probably this one is like dexterity and the other one is strength, right? Because you are focusing more on strength. I weave around them while landing hits when I can, light on my feet. My instincts are flashing in my head, keeping me from getting hit. I was never taught any of this, just learned from doing it over and over again. And from the pain of screwing up. Another one charging at me, this one has a knife. Ah, those are dangerous. I could actually die here. How do I handle this? Jump to the side and trip him. No, dodge the knife and elbow him his face. Elbow to the face, my elbow his face. Cool, that's one down, but now the first one's getting back up. So I still got one of them on me, but these guys are a joke, probably new. So of course they can't afford gear to compensate for their lack of skill. But the moment I relax, ha! Fucker! He gets me with a punch to the side of my face, spinning with the force of the punch. I see Hector behind me. Ha, is this all you got? Tell your billionaire dad this is what we think of him. Dude, he's on the ground, curled up to protect himself, laughing between grunts of pain while his sides get kicked by the other two thugs. I need to finish this quick so I can help him. With a headbutt. We go with a headbutt, why not? I turn back to the guy and just charge at him, putting all my strength into my neck muscles and as I thrust forward. My forehead bangs against his and he stumbles back, passing out. I will laugh, but my head hurts like a bitch shortly after the impact. For a moment I feel dizzy. It's like a gong that just keeps ringing in my head long after the impact. Why did I think that was a good idea? I already have a head injury from yesterday. Farkas, you idiot. Fuck, at least I'm not bleeding. Though, with what that injuries can do to you, I'm not actually sure this is better. I turn, charging the remaining two who are kicking Hector. Did you see how I held them back? He seems oddly proud of himself. Yeah, great job, but now let me... That's true, actually. They were focused on Hector, so it turns out it will be easier for me to take these guys down. I punch and kick them away, doing as much as I can before they notice I join this side of the fight. One stumbles back, and I catch the other in the jaw just right to knock him unconscious. The one thug still on his feet looks at me, and I just glare at him with tired irritation. Fist still raised, he runs. My feet hurt, my face hurts, my legs are starting to give out. But we won, somehow we won, and Hector's giving me the thumbs up from the ground. The guy that didn't do shit. Ah, serves them right. Ow, why does laughing hurt? Hector tries to push to his feet, but sinks back down, clutching his side. I frown at him. Don't make a habit of this, you'll get yourself killed. It's okay, I knew what I was getting into. I can take a beating until the police arrive if I need to. Speaking of which, where are they? I made myself anonymous to the algorithm, not invisible. Yeah, welcome to the real world. Those guys will have taken all your fancy gear and left you bleeding in an alley, and no one will have stopped them. Still, think you know what you're getting into? He chuckles through pained breaths. But that was great. Great. Exactly, we did it. We saved that kid. You got some kind of hero complex? Hector smiles and shakes his head. I just do what I can. What's your name, friend? Farkas. Look around you, Farkas. What do you think of this world? Huh? I glance around with a shrug. That the sky's same gray as ever. Gangs have to run off the place. A lot of people are too poor to afford medicine or even healthy food. It's shit. Exactly. So, don't you see it? The world's already a terrible place, but today we protect the kid from some thugs. We made it slightly better. All it takes for the world to stay as it is for people to not give a damn. All it takes to change it is to act when there's a chance, even if it's something small. It would not have been small if you died. If I hadn't been here, you have to be smart about these things. I couldn't think of anything smarter than this. I just had to make a decision whether to help this kid or not, so I did. I probably can do better, but I'm still not going to sit around uselessly in the meantime. I let people like that keep me afraid. I see, I hate it, but somehow I can't disagree. So that's what happened. He has no experience, but he saw someone in trouble and didn't have the heart just look the other way. It sounds like he's finally talking like a normal person, though. So it's not like he's lost touch with reality. Then he's just put on a hero act to get through what will otherwise be a terrifying situation. Alright, go ahead and change the world there, but I'm out. Stop! Huh? He playfully slips back into his hero persona as he continues. While ordinarily I'll be content to bask in the glory of victory, I can't help but recognize that your contributions today were vital into our shared success. I did like 99% of the fighting, even if I lowball it. What the fuck? Okay, sure, and I'd like to hire you. Be my bodyguard. No, better. Be my sidekick. Sidekick? I consider the possibilities. Uh, what will that even mean? Like, what do you plan to do? Go around rescue kittens from fire escapes and shit like that? Who knows? It depends on what the world needs. Basically, we'll hang out together, and if we see some way we can make things better, we do it. You really think it's gonna help the world for me to repeatedly save your life from thugs? When you could just stay safe in a mansion somewhere? With your knowledge of the streets, I'm sure we could pick better marks and use better tactics. What do you think I'll be paying you for? Paying me? Of course, as I say, I wanted to hire you. Yeah, I remember. Just you think I'll do literally anything for money, even pointless risk both our lives? Maybe that's how it works in your Vecco Corporation land or whatever. No, that wasn't my. If I risk my life on a daily basis following you around, it will be because I want to, not because someone bought me. That would be fun. Except I don't want to. I'm not so different from the guys just beat up, and I know from experience that I don't want to be mixed up in all of this anymore. Trust me, you don't want the gang to start recognizing you and seeing you as a problem. Besides, you don't get to be my boss. Even if I were willing to do this, it will need to be on my terms. Sidekick? I'm not playing second fiddle to the guy who doesn't know how to fight. Perfect, huh? I get it now, Farkas. You are a true man among men. You won't be my sidekick or bodyguard. That's right. So instead, we'll be friends. Wait a minute. He got outplayed. Ah, so that's where you. A very formally dressed man approached us actor, and I head away from the scene of the fight. Parked not far behind him is the sleek-looking car. He must have just climbed out of it. What, is this his butler or something? He's not much older than us. A bodyguard he slipped away from. His older brother? He sighs. You know, I was waiting to pick you up half an hour ago. I would appreciate if you notified me. Sorry, there was a bit of an emergency. Getting a better look at the actor. The newcomer's eyes widen and snap over to me. What happened to you? An emergency involving this punk? It's fine, this is a friend of mine, Farkas. This is Mikhail. He works for my family. Farkas helped me out of a bad spot back there. That's all there is to it. I see, so you gotten yourself into trouble again. Again? How did you survive the other times? Survive, you mean literally? Normally I'm with him and we are able to just leave. He turns back to Hector. You know, if you don't do a better job of finding human content, you're going to give the Icelanders the wrong idea. They will start thinking Finch actually like talking to people. Right, I'll just go sit by myself in the dark somewhere and think about airing. That's more like it. Maybe I'm actually an alien, switch at birth. That would explain a lot. Anyway, I recommend you return before your absence is noticed. Yeah, sounds like this will have to be it for me, Farkas. I appreciate your help, friend. He extended his hand, offering to shake mine. If his family as rich as it sounds, I have no idea what he might think is normal, but he's probably used to solving his problems with money. Money might be how he gets everything. Everything is a transaction, and if the price is right, no one refuses. So for him, someone who says no, someone he can just ask to do as he please. I might not feel like we are friends just from that fight, but I'm the closest thing he's found. He's smiling, but there's a clear loneliness in his eyes that I recognize, because I'm the same way. Not rich, but we are both alone on our paths. Forget that. Dismissively, I slap his hand away. You don't act like this is a goodbye, dumbass. I open my phone map and pull up the ice and dice, holding the screen out to show him. This is where I live. You live in the pub? Upstairs, I live up. Just go there and when you are bored, alright? With a side step away, hands in my pocket, wondering what exactly I just got myself into. Okay, so now chapter 0, Altea part 1. The sound of battle surround me. I look around at the chaos. There's something I'm supposed to do, but how? Where? Where are the others? They were supposed to help me. No, they are turning and fighting him. This isn't how this is supposed to go. Stop! He isn't our enemy. He needs to do this or else. The voice is both familiar and unfamiliar, yet it comes from within me. I feel its urgency as my own. I rush forward. He's attacking them now in return, viciously but outnumbered. The outcome is now all but certain. Suddenly, I'm on the ground, warm blood pouring down my face. Is it mine? What happened? My vision fades as a figure stands over me, and a blade jabs down from above. Traitor! Who said that? A swell of music pulls me back to the physical world. My alarm. What an intense dream. My heart still pounding as if I'll been fighting for my life. I blink, bringing my eyes into focus as I mentally saw my heads-up display. I shut off the alarm and quickly flick through my notifications. Well, maybe it can snooze for 10 minutes. I like gazing at the ceiling in the morning sun streaking across from the window. What are these dreams? I can't always remember them, but it feels like this wasn't the first time. Add an entry to my dream journal. I probably am gonna add. I pull the file up and watch my words appear as I mentally dictate them to my phone. I don't remember too much, but there was a fight of some kind, raw emotions between me and someone else, and a shock of pain. There's a knock at the door. Misty, are you getting ready? It's Joan, the assistant of my parents hired after we moved to New Reykjavik. He's impeccably polite as makes things like this easier to swallow, but his knock was still jarring with how afraid I feel. We have been in the city less than a year, and I'm still not used to having an assistant so close to my own age. Everywhere else we have lived, the household staff were the household staff were all my parents. That's a little bit weird. I don't know where were all my parents. Okay, generation. They felt more like an authority. I was the kid. Whereas Joanne is doing this for extra funds while he studies at university. Another year and we might end up taking the same class. We get along well enough. It's kind of nice. I enjoy his company. He's always been too kind to me. Very professional, but I enjoy learning what I can about him as he gradually shares things here and there. It's like solving a puzzle. With my parents occupied a lot of time, staff have always been like extra family members to me. Joanne's is a bit new for that, but in the months since we moved, he's still the person I've to the most. Alright, Joanne's appreciate my promptness. Alright, I'll be down at the car. I need to get moving. My head is still spinning a little from that dream, but I'll be late for class if I take much longer. Footsteps trail away from my door. I might have a minute or two to continue lying here, but I really need to get up, so eventually I roll out of bed. I get dressed. Taking time to look polished, of course. I check over my outfit, hair and face in the mirror as I get ready, make sure there is no remaining sign of bad head or how tired I still feel. Holy shit, car. Also, I'm ready to go. I had breakfast parked my bag to save time. I head down to the garage. Not many people own their own car, so having one at my disposal is quite a luxury, not to mention having a human driver. Most people just hail rides everywhere or take the rails, all automated unless you pay extra for the human touch. I'm just happy that I can relax on the ride over. I'm normally sleep deprived anyway, carving out time for the things I want to learn about after my official studies are done. Not to mention the friendships that survive all of our moves are online, and none of them in this time zone. Joanne smiles and nods to me, opening the door for me before going around to the driver's side. That was a bit longer than expected. Thought you are looking quite sharp. Okay, so that's why you should take your time. It doesn't normally comment on my appearance, so the compliment catch me off guard. Is he just making conversation, or does a part of him behind that polished professional exterior actually find it attractive? Or is he judging me for taking too long and covering it with a compliment? It's so hard to tell with him. Whatever, it's nothing to get worked up about. Yeah, just because I'm ready for a nap on the inside doesn't mean I can't make my outside ready to take on the world. Of course. We speed up into the city. He knows this place and its traffic fluently, and it shows he moves through intuitively in ways that might have seemed dangerous if I hadn't already learned to trust his instincts. The sky is already darkening back to its typical dull grey, even if this morning was a bit brighter than usual. It's still been years since I saw a patch of blue sky. Joanne plays a podcast about recent news. He might not share much about himself in his professionalism, but I learned that he prefers to spend his spare brain cycles learning things rather than listening to music. It took a while to convince him that I really had no preference regarding what we listen to, but I'm glad I did. I always end up hearing something interesting during our drives. I mean, sure, South America has plenty of underground seasonal storm shelters, but they are only built to house people for a few weeks at a time. That will be up to the governments to figure out, but in long term we just need more ocean platforms if we are going to be climate robust. Ocean platforms like the one we are on, New Reykjavik, is a synthetic island floating atop the rising sea, built as a refuge for the inhabitants of the old capital, now submerged under the Atlantic. Unlike a real island, it can move like a large slow ship, but that's enough to avoid the worst hurricanes and other storms so long as the forecasts are accurate enough. It's strange to imagine how people used to live on this planet with nothing. No special tech to make the place habitable for them. Just sit out in nature and somehow be okay. Weird, right? I mean, I know it must have been like that, but it's hard to imagine actually living that way. I guess I could try camping on the mainland, but I'll kind of rather just enjoy the comforts of the city. I prefer adventures of the mine. Finally, we arrive at school. I thank Joanne for his company. Quite tall, he was for the most of the ride. He'll stay out running the house errands for a while, and meanwhile I'll be here. As busy as school makes me, I can't help but feel like my time is being wasted. I'm happy to learn, but I guess the priorities aren't the same as mine. The things I most want to learn aren't the things we are covering right now, or the things required for matriculation exams, so I give them what they want, then lose sleep doing what I want. If we will stay in another country, I might be at university by now with more freedom to choose my own studies. But of course, at the gymnasia, Iceland's equivalent of high schools, go to age 19. So here I am. I had to one class after another in rooms with round clusters of displays where students sit to do the day's exercise, while instructors circulate and help whoever's struggling. In literature, it's independent right today. In computer science, it's a group exercise. In bio, we have some wet lab stuff to do, so it's lab bench instead of electronic displays. We rarely do stuff like that, and the change of pace is nice. We get our reading assignments to prepare for the next session, and shuffle ourselves along to the next class. The classes are well done, but it's more like a game of ticking out the box for the requirements rather than going after knowledge because there's something in particular we want to learn, or because we want to do something with that knowledge. At lunch, I sit with a few other students I've been getting to know. I have to admit, when we moved here several months ago, I didn't make much effort to meet people. I'll just say goodbye to yet another group of friends who may not keep in touch online, and well, I sort of just didn't have it in me to go through that again so soon. So I just focused on my course work. But these guys saw me sitting alone and said hi, they included me, and it's been nice having people around, even if I still catch myself staying at arm's length from them, wrapped up in my own thoughts, or just hesitating to get attached. Oh, hey Thea. So the posh princess deigns to honor us with her presence. Yes, be grateful, peasant. Come on, you don't have to give her such a hard time. Hey, I'm like barely fucking with her. And look at her. She's perfect fine. Fucking with people is how she shows affection. You don't need to explain me, Miranda. Anyway, I'm ready for a nap. I think I'll just stay here the rest of the day, okay? Okay. He's resting his head on his forearms, which are folded in front of him on the table. Were you up late? Nah, just ate my life. So the usual. Yup. Let's all eat life together. Life isn't that bad. Oh, Miranda approves. The other two don't like? Peter is judging me? What? These people? Only Miranda likes life, the other ones don't like? Okay. Except, yeah, it is. There's a low-key playful irony beneath his deadpan response. The humor around here is almost always dark, if not full-on nihilistic, where my hopelessness often marked in the punchline, but that's pretty normal in my experience. I mean, if someone acts genuinely cheerful, they'll just come across as fake or ignorant, and everyone will shit on them for it. Why would anyone be genuinely cheerful, right? Now hear me out. Have you ever tried not getting up in the morning or ever? Ah, fuck off. That's going a bit far, Petor. Is it though? To be honest, it bothers me a bit as well, joking about depression and suicide as if such things are just a matter of course. But maybe just, but maybe joking about it helps, at least more so than pretending these things don't happen. I consider asking what they think about all that, but I hesitate. I don't know them that well yet. And heaven forbid I say anything truly heartfelt in front of my peers. For now, I just keep up my hand up the band until everyone's done with lunch, and we head out to our remaining class. After class, when I'm allowed to turn my phone back on, I see a blip to one side of my vision. It's a notification on my heads-up display, a message from Joanne. I give the mental command to open the message, and Joanne appears on my HUD. To my eyes, he looks like a hologram, even though I'm the only one who can see the display. I'm afraid your parents have asked for my help with some urgent last-minute business, so it will be an hour or so before I'm able to pick you up. The match is just a recording, so I can't respond direct, but still, what business? I guess he didn't feel at liberty to share. Sure, my parents are always busy, but it never seemed like anything secret, just their work. I'll let you know when I'm free if I don't hear from you otherwise. Stay safe. That you will worry about my safety isn't terribly surprising. The city is dangerous to walk around by yourself. The glowing signs in the hallway often warn about gang recruitment, and we are all seen the clips people post of the toughest gangs in the city. With law enforcement stretched thin, sometimes the best people can do is record what happens and hope for justice later. Of course, they also know that the spectacle will draw views, cybernetics, exotic weapons that slip past firearms restrictions. I know most criminals can't afford those things, but even a mugger with a knife is serious trouble, and there are plenty of those. I keep seeing a video comment saying someday some gang is going to get their hands on exoskeleton armor, steal it from some foreign black ops unit, and then it will be game over. They'll rule the city. I don't know if I believe it. Maybe the biggest mafia in the world could do it, but in a tiny country like this? Either way, if I go anywhere, it will be best not to go alone, unless just hail a ride straight home. Uh, nah. Hang out in school's library. See if my classmates want to do anything together. Let's go to library. I head into the library, which does have some books, mainly just quiet study hours, individual tables as well as collaborative ones, with and without clusters of displays for students to use. It's easy to look things up electronic anyway. There are a couple others here, but not many. Anyone else staying this late is probably busy with a club or sport. I sit at one of the tables and look up my reading assignments. To anyone else, it might look like I'm just staring off into space, but I'm scrolling through the windows that appear on my HUD in response to my mental commands. Large ethereal screens float around me, invisible to everyone but myself. Some people prefer physical screens, they can be easier on the eyes, I guess, and faster to collaborate in person without the extra steps of screen sharing. But a lot of times, it's easier to just do what I'm doing. Might as well get started. Only I can't seem to focus. I find myself distracted by a newsfeed I'll open on inside bar. Some headline about crops dying on mainland since spring conditions weren't met for them to sprout again this year. Not hard to imagine. It's already fall, and it was uncomfortably chilly all summer, even with the outdoor climate controls within the city. It's strange, the ice caps melt and seas rise, but weather is so unpredictable that we never really experienced summer either. Of course, between the thick clouds constantly covering the sky and the artificial lighting of the city, day and night don't seem to make much difference either. It's like an eternal twilight. I read on now about the need for more and more greenhouse to keep the population fed. At least New Reykjavik is already in good shape in that regard. Plenty of hydroponics on the lower decks of the city. It's part of the reason my family moved here rather than Europe. It's safer than trying to put down roots into freezing or flooding soil. I guess they could have put greenhouse on top of the deck and try to use natural light, but since the light and temperature aren't that great up here anyway, the citizens probably prefer to live where they can see the sky. I read a bit more. What about the other ones? Alright, we can. What about the classmates? Oh. So that will increase. Oh, I could have saved it before. What about taxi? What else will happen? Then I will choose. Then I will choose which one. Okay, so she instead of being in school, she reads the same thing as library. So let's go for the with classmates. It increase here the thing, so why not? I look around for a familiar face. The main enters where the students are waiting around for their rides or stopping to hail them. Hey Thea, hey, are you guys busy right now, or do you want to do something? I think this could be the best one since you increased the relationships with them. So. Like what? There's a game cafe not far from here, but I've never gotten around to trying it. The place has high-end gaming system, VR hardware, and even a collection of physical board games, plus comfortable seating and full of cafe menu with drinks and snacks. That's true, that place did sound interesting. Let's check it out. My parents will be fine with it as long as we stick together on the street. We make our way down the sidewalk away from the school building, approaching the edge of the city. A gust of chilly ocean air rushes over us. The city needs to turn up the outdoor heating. Sure, and then just build cities for it, like they always do. I think I'll rather keep my money. Do you even make any money? Miranda shrugs. I don't know, it always seems chilly to me. Yeah, but it wasn't always like this, was it? Hey, you know what they say, global warming, it makes the winters worse? I have no idea. The weather just does whatever it wants now. Heh, yeah, basically. But it does make me wonder, is it particularly worse this year? My eyes slightly out, I'm at, oh, this is going to be the same thing. I mean, there's an article about crops dying on mainland since spring conditions weren't met for them to sprout this year again. Apparently, it's the third year in a row that it was like this for virtually all crops. Damn, what? Yep, we all gonna die. What else is new? Just need more greenhouse. That's how we do it here. 3 years without a real summer. Does that sound familiar? I feel like I've heard something like that before. Like from a movie or something? I don't know. I continue scrolling through the windows, only I can see. If you run into a pole while you are looking at the windows plastered across the inside of your eyeballs, you know we are just going to laugh and judge you, right? He smirks teasingly. I sighed, exaggerated my annoyance for comedic effect. Oh, that's where it's from. The prophecy of Ragnarok. 3 years without summer, under a useless sun. Signs of Norse mythology apocalypse. It's funny how you study this shit way more than I do, and you are not even from here. I mean, I just read the Eddish, the same as these guys do for school, but he has a point. In my case, I did it for fun. At this point, I've read volumes on so many different traditions the world over, from those left in the dust of history to those still practiced large and small. I don't draw a line between mythologies and religions because, what's the saying? All stories are true in the place where they are told. The truth is the human experience behind it, and that always exists, whatever form it might truly have taken. There's something I love about them all, and I love finding connections between them more than anything. So we are still going to die, but more epically. Hey, the other signs include years of global war, so that's also a thing. Now it's Miran turned side in annoyance. You guys are ridiculous. Like, I know you are just messing around, but there are people in my family who get super into conspiracy theories like that, and I'm pretty burned out on it. Serious, everything is fine. Okay, geez whiz. Well, gee whiz. Peter XVM in exaggerate tone, playful mocking is G-rated word choice. Hey, what's your problem, man? This is what you sound like, Armor. Ha, golly gee willikers. Shut the fuck up. They bunt and jab back and forth. I just laugh and shake my head, trying to at least give the impression of being present with them, even though my mind is still elsewhere. As we keep walking, there's a noise between two of the buildings up ahead on our side of the street. A thump like something dropping onto the ground. It's not an unusual noise, but there's an eerie, almost familiar feeling that I'm getting from it. Thought I have no idea why. You guys hear that? What? I feel silly about pointing it out. Now, there's nothing special about the sound of something falling, but I feel like I need to be careful. I point in the direction of the sound. It's like something fell back in there. So what? So what, indeed? Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. My intuition is probably just going haywire. I should stop before I make a fool of myself. Should we cross the street away from it? She looks nervous. Whatever this thing is, my worries about it seem to have rubbed off. Cool, just try to get a peek from a distance, see what's going on. Uh, try to get a peek. We move along the curb, trying to get line to offside to the source of the noise while maintaining our distance. There's a dark shape in there, extending upward like someone standing up from a crouched position on the ground. Then it starts moving quickly towards us. Its details become more clear as it comes out of the shadow between the buildings. Who the fuck is that? What? Who the fuck? It's a person clad from head to toe in some sort of high-tech armor, reaching up over one shoulder to draw a large blade. It is some sort of well-supplied gang. I just hope we are not the target. We can't be, right? We just have to avoid getting in the way. The others must be thinking the same, quietly edging far out of the armored figure's way so he can pass us and be gone. We don't want any trouble. But it doesn't pass. It turns and picks up its pace straight towards us. That's when an alarm goes off in my head and I just start running. Nope. Suddenly I can't think about anything but getting the hell out of here. The others are quite with me, and anyone else remotely near us on sidewalks quickly backing away as well. Oh god! Sprinting up the sidewalk back the way we came. Armor frantically mutters to himself, "Nope, nope, nope!" Peter glances angrily behind us as we run. "Leave us alone, you crazy fuck!" He scoops up a loose chunk of brick from the building's damaged facade and hurls it back at the dark figure chasing us. The brick zooms towards its target, but our pursuer dodged deftly, leaning to the side without missing a step. Who even are you? Miranda screams in frustration at the security camera on the side of a building. Help! Police! I've already hit the emergency call button on my HUD. I'm sure we all have, so they have our location, but who knows how long it will take them to get here, if they even have people to spare for this. Meanwhile, Armour doesn't even bother looking back, focused on running with a single mind intensity. I've never seen mustard for any other effort in his life. The figure leaps forward with inhuman speed, clearing the distance between us. That's not just armor. Cybernetics? Exoskeleton? The blade arcs downward as the figure comes in for a landing next to Peter, who somehow mustered the defiant courage to swing and catch the incoming attacker's jaw with a punch, before getting cut to the ground with a brutal slash across his chest. Is this real? I stare in shock, and for a moment my legs feel like they could simply collapse, but then a surge of urge sends me sprinting away. What? Mira gasps in disbelief, and Armour continues his frantic stream of nopes, glancing fearfully behind him, and then turning back to dive straight into the crowded street. And that's when I realize what he's doing. He'll never outrun someone who clearly has body in casting gear, not without some other advantage. We need to lose this attack among obstacles, break line of sight. The automatic traffic is smart enough to not hit us, but he might help us slip away. Even so, I feel like I'm being torn in half between the incomprehensible sight of Peter's familiar frame now crumpled on the ground and our more disappearing between the cars. Shutting out my churning emotions in the name of survival, I leap out into traffic as well, and Miranda closely follows. Spread out! I call to my classmates through the traffic. We need to make ourselves as hard to follow as possible, and stick together, only will make it easy to catch all of us at once. We scatter. The autonomous taxi and delivery vehicles that fill the street detect us and react in microseconds, stopping or swerving deftly around. We catch glimpses of the perplexed and indignant faces of any passengers within, but the city's traffic IE is coordinated enough to avoid driving any of the cars into each other or into us. Meanwhile, we weave and tumble past the cars that slow to avoid us, and glancing back, I lose sight of our pursuer. I let out a breath of relief, but now's no time to assume we are safe. I get myself out of sight as quickly as possible. If I keep running in the open, it's only a matter of time before I'm spotted and chased down. I duck into the nearest storefront to hide myself within its walls. It looks like a small automated shop with nothing but walls of pickup lockers and a display showing what's in stock. No staff, then, and only one door in and out. But I don't dare show myself outside again just yet, not until authorities arrive. If I can just stay hidden until they do. Staying low, I peer out the entrance. Through the traffic, I can see across the street where we were moments ago. The dark figure is still over there, so it never followed us across the street, but it's gazing around the traffic almost as if scanning, searching. At the same time, I can't help but feel like my attention drawn to the spot where Peter lies on the sidewalk. If I use my HUD to zoom in a little, I can see the subtle movement of breathing, but it's irregular. That eerie feeling of familiarity is back, and it's telling me there is something important about Fox and Peter, as if I might be able to help somehow. That's when the dark figure turns from its search and starts heading back toward Peter. Is it about to finish him off? Slip away while this attack is distracted. Draw the attacker's attention away from Peter and run. Follow the intuition to focus on Peter. I focused on willpower, okay. Do I dare to do this? No time to think. Pet's about to die. With a burst of adrenaline and courage, I slide the door open and shout across the street at the masked figure. Hey! That skull mask whips around to face me instantly, and the figure leaps in my direction, from the roof of one car to the next, crossing the street in seconds. I take off running for the nearest corner, but I won't be able to maintain my lead for long. I need to break line of sight before. That's when my instincts go into high alert. There's something flying at me from behind. Reflexively, I turn, raising an arm, as if to protect myself. Even thought I know an arm will do nothing against a blade. The masked figure is already in my face, blade raised, having launched into another inhuman leap. And then somehow it falls away from me, stumbling as it hits the ground. What? That wasn't somehow me, was it? But any confusion I might feel is immediately drawn out by the overwhelming urge to run. I sprint around the corner while the attack is still recovering. Now where am I supposed to go? I can't outrun this person. I thought I can fight on any gang member, let alone one with gear like that. What then? But so long as I physically can, I just keep running. Up ahead, I see a dark van screech to a halt, and the side door opens up to reveal a woman in uniform. A police officer is actually wielding firearms, must be special force. Get in, quickly! Jumping into strange van might not sound terribly safe, but at this point, to get to the van I sprint with the last burst of energy I can muster. Meanwhile, she leans out, bracing herself against the door and aiming past me with a strange sort of pistol I haven't seen before. When it fires, a concussive wave radiates out from it, throwing the black-clad individual back through the air. No bullets, instinct non-lethal option. I'm no expert, but I've never seen yappers like that outside science fiction. Is this normal for special forces now? The attacker lands on their feet a few meters back and keeps approaching, but the blast bought enough time for me to climb inside. The door closed and we speed off. I noticed the traffic giving away fluid to let us pass, like a sea parting for our convenience. I guess she really must be special force, if the traffic IE is treating this vehicle with that kind of priority. With the chase over, I finally notice just how much I'm shaking. My hands, my arms, even my legs. I pull my heels up onto the seat and hug my knees tightly against my chest, but I just keep shaking. I'm safe now, right? And yet, with sudden renewed panic, I activate my HUD and attempt to calm me around and armor, both at the same time. I just want to hear that they are alive. But the call won't go through. I try again and again. I tell my parents. I have no reception. Is it the van? Are they blocking me? Some kind of security feature so I'm not tracked? I try to form the words to ask about it, but I realize I just can't. Speech has left me for the moment. I've never seen anything like this before. Nearly being murdered, seeing someone else cut down. So for now I simply hold myself and let my body tremble until it's exhausted. Several minutes pass and fatigue finally with it a strange sense of calm. My head feels clearer now. I'm grateful, but there's something odd about it. This whole rush of emotion, and then the way it seems to pass, it feels familiar, but there's no way I could have done anything like this before, right? I look around at the woman and the other two officers inside the van. I have so many questions. I breathe and focus on forming at least a few words so I can start asking. Uh, who are you? Komani. I'm Lieutenant Komani, New Reykjavik Police Special Operations Unit. There's a lot to explain, we have questions too. Better if you get back to base, our direct has more answers than I do anyway. It's safe if I don't give you the exact location, but to our base. My voice falters, but my eyes plead for some kind of special priority so that an ambulance can reach him right away. Even if medical technology can do a lot, if too much time passed, the blood loss alone will. My mind spins, words, facts, logic, all trying to grapple with the overwhelming reality of what happened. But the truth is that I don't know what to feel, how to react, how does anyone ever. It's like all I can do is stare at the situation in shock and disbelief. I know, I'm sorry. She just leaves it at that. Well, what did I expect? They already know. We already called for help. There's nothing more I can do now. They all, they will send an ambulance as soon as they can. And suddenly that's all I can think to say. I look away, watching the buildings pass in silence for a few minutes. We continue to drive. The other officers look like they were ready for a fight, but they don't say much as we continue. They just gaze out the front windshield or review whatever displaying on their searching from the way their out of focus eyes flit back and forth as if reading something floating in the air in front of them. Eventually, we get to a guarded gate in front of a ramp that leads down to the city ship's lower decks. After the guard scans the van, confirms the identities of the officers in it, the gate opens and we drive down. I thought this might be a parking area for the building above, but I don't see anything like that. We just keep going down. At some point, we level out and keep driving forward. The space outside the van is completely dark at this point. The eye driving the vehicle doesn't need light to see after all. We take a few turns as we go, and I start to wonder just how much is down here. How many decks were there again? Eventually, we come to a stop facing a door in the wall of the tunnel. I can finally see the walls in the otherwise lightless passage thanks to the lamps over the doors. This way, we can talk in the briefing room inside. So I direct will have to decide what to share. Oh fuck. I'm not gonna say that. Oh. So do not say that. She chuckles. I certainly hope not. Her face grows more serious as she realizes how nervous I must be. No, no, nothing like that. Think of this more like witness protection. We aren't here to threaten you. We step into a lobby just inside the door, and I see the van drive off by itself as soon as we are all out of it. I believe you wonder how I'm going to get out of here, if something goes wrong, or if it turns out I can't trust these people. Just run off through these dark tunnels? I guess I just have to hope I can trust them. Okay, still chapter 0. Jesus, Farkas part 2. Hey Farkas, wake up! I'm sick today. I pull myself deeper under the blankets, resisting the cold embrace of morning. Yeah, you are sick every day. I want to tell her I'm only sick on weekdays, but I don't think she's in the mood. Come on, get up. Your rich friend is downstairs. Oh, ever since that fight, Hector's been stopping by to visit every day. Apparently cleared it with his chaperone or whatever, Mikhail, that he could walk with me instead of riding with him to and from school, at least part of the way. It's pretty closely watched when he isn't finding ways to wander off on his own. So the fact that Mikhail said to trust me is nice. Thought for all I know, security might still be tailing us from the hallway. So by his own one-side decision, I guess we are now friends. So why did I have to give him this address? Well, it's not like playing video games with him isn't fun. He let me borrow a really expensive VR console that just came out, and I'm pretty sure he plans to just leave it here. It's generous, but something about it annoys me. How does have to work so hard for these things, whereas he just throws them around like it's nothing? But he doesn't seem to have any clue about that. This is just his way of trying to be a good friend. It's only been a couple of weeks, but somehow he's worming his way into my life. It's also strangely cool with how much of an asshole I am. I'm not trying to be, but after fending for myself for so long, it's like it just comes out of me, easy as breathing without thinking about it. If this keeps up, it might even become my best friend. I shudder just thinking about it. Can you kill him for me? I'll rather not go to jail. Plus, he's a good customer. Customer? I never see him eating when I go down. Yesterday, he ordered a bottle of water with €100 tip. Damn it, if Hector actually gets himself stabbed one of these days, he'll probably bleed money. What the fuck? I get dressed and head downstairs. Hector's there, sure enough, but he's not alone. That old man is back from the day after that fight I still can't remember. Ironic, but this is exactly the kind of place where a beggar and a billionaire will share drinks. If this guy actually does back, I still know nothing about him. And Hector's only having water, but still. Farkas, good morning, my friend. Hector greets me with his usual exulting cheerfulness. Oh, if you didn't the kid from before, how's that? Hey, I'm fine. You ready to go, right? Okay, let's go. I pull him by the arm to quickly leave the pub. Whoa, wait, I have to pay. I'm sure you have paid enough for a year's supply of water already. I continue out the door with Hector. For some reason, I just feel like I got to get out of here. The old guy nods his farewell. You're an interesting kid. See you around. Not sure how I feel about that, but okay. You are in a rush today. I just didn't feel like hanging around in there. It's awkward to all of these people in one place. Heckler, Hector, and now this old guy. Maybe it sounds irrational, but no good can come from having them all together. As we keep walking, I feel the hairs on the back of my neck standing on end. I have a stage feel like I'm being watched. I look around to see where they might be. A certain ash-haired girl is watching me from behind a wall, like she's hesitant to approach. Come to think of it, it's strange how little I've seen her after I told her we could try hanging out again. But now I realize I've sort of been spending money, spending my free time with Hector. I met him literally that same day. I sighed. I need to go talk to that girl over there. Oh, he stops, cocking his head to think for a moment. An admirer, huh? Oh, I didn't realize you were such a ladies' man. Hector gives me an amused grin and an elbow to the side, raising an eyebrow. No, not like that. Hector happily pats me on the back. I'll go on ahead and leave it to you. I'll leave you to it. What excitement does he think he's leaving me to? This should give me a break from his antics at least. With another side, I approach Sarah. Hey, do you have time for me now? I thought maybe you changed your mind and figured you should go back to avoiding me, have you? I wasn't avoiding you, not this time. It's just that guy has a way of monopolizing your attention, you know what I mean? Besides, with you, I was sure you'll get into trouble if you were with me, but with him, he'll get into more trouble if I'm not there. I'm basically a babysitter here, alright? I'm not choosing him over you, or something. No, it's okay. I understand. Wait, what exactly do you understand? It sounds like you think something else is going on. I mean, you make time for the friendship you really want, right? And sometimes people just lose interest. It's natural. No, it's not that I like. It's not that I like your company less. This is ridiculous. First, I get this random friendship thrust upon me out of nowhere, and now Sarah is jealous of said friendship, even thought it's completely unrelated to the reason I needed to avoid her. But wait, she was pretty quick to decide I must not be interested. You know, I could say the same thing. You could have joined us at any time, but you didn't, right? So if you are actually the one who lost interest, I get it. I know it. I was a shitty friend. I won't hold it against you. No, that's not it. I don't care if someone sees us together. I don't care if I get in trouble for being your friend. I only want to be here if you actually want me. That's all. I mean, I always wanted you here. Just well, you know. You thought spending time with you will be bad for me? I know, but just let me make those decisions from now on, okay? She isn't normally this direct, and it catch me off guard. Well, when they were kids, is it? The truth is Sarah was the first kid my age I really got to know. Her family lives near the pub, and they ate lunch there sometimes on the weekends. I remember being curious about her but not knowing what to say, so I hung back messing with action figures at one of the tables so Eka could keep an eye on me while she worked. But when Sarah noticed me looking at her, she just came straight over and asked me to play with her, and I felt so happy and relieved. We started visiting each other after that, watching shows together, having make-believe battles, but her parents always seemed angry about something, angry at each other, or angry about something she did. Every time I could see her shrink down, becoming smaller, quieter, less of a target, I guess. It made me want to protect her, it made me want to get back at them. Protect. I couldn't just stand by and watch. If I was there when it happened, I spoke up or I got her out of there and back to the pub to get away from them. She wasn't in physical danger and they weren't breaking the law, so there wasn't much Heckle could do, but I wanted to be by Sarah's side, to look out for her like an older brother. But things changed as we went through school. Maybe it's because I didn't have parents or because Eckler's budget won't let me have the nice things everyone else did, but kids were always looking at me like I stank, or like I was the butt of some joke. And then 4 years ago I joined that gang. It wasn't like a real mafia or anything big, it was just a bunch of local punks fighting over turf, stealing shit, but at first it was kind of nice. Uh, I learned to defend myself. If there is one thing they knew, it was how to take care of themselves on the street, and I wanted that, the ability to walk around with confidence, knowing I could face whatever the world threw at me. So I studied what they did, I trained and tested myself against them, and I found out I was surprisingly good at it. I started holding my head high again. It was the power of knowing I could hold my own. I gave up on getting along with kids at school. They look at me weird already, so it was like I had to be an asshole just so they would leave me alone. If they fear me, they will respect me. It really was just that asinine. But it was enough to make me a bad person in a lot of people's eyes. When some of our rivals came at me outside school, I was almost expelled. I argued it was self-defense, but it was self-defense using a yap and all snuck into class. A lot of kids started circulating rumors about me after that, which got me into more trouble, even when I hadn't done what they said. In the end, I cut ties with the gang. I knew it would be dangerous to fight them, but uh, I wanted to be better than this. I got tired of being gangster. I got tired of classmates seeing me as monster. Better than this. In its early days, the gang showed me I was worth something, but the longer I stayed, the more I realized I didn't want this to be my worth. Fighting to protect our leaders' egos, fighting to take shit from people. I wasn't the one mugging people or breaking into place, but people in the gang did do things like that. I didn't want that to become my life. I wanted to be strong so I could protect myself and those I care about, like Sarah and Ekla. Not so I could be part of crap like that. When I quit the gang, my old gang friends made the rumors worse, until it felt like most of my classmates were hoping I'll just drop out. And if I push it back, I'll be the bully. I did my best to shrug it off, tell myself it didn't matter what those assholes thought, and it shouldn't. But it still sort of wears at you, having no one on your side. I don't regret straining myself out, but apparently it can really backfire. But Sarah stood up for me. She told her friends to stop spreading lies about me, explained the truth. She was the only one protecting me. Hegel might have too, but she wasn't there, not at school, and I wasn't about to go crying to her. Despite being so gentle and kind, despite absolutely despising conflict, Sarah really tried to help me. As a result, though, she became a target too. Even her parents scolded her, saying it was her fault for associating with a delinquent like me. Then that's when I realized she was the one suffering the most, so I cut ties with her. I even yelled at her in front of everybody, told her to leave me alone. I was really horrible, publicly. Poor Sarah. Everyone knew we weren't friends anymore, so her parents got off her back, and our classmates accepted her again. The gang ignored her, everything was better. She sent me so many messages afterward, she guessed why I did it, and tried to talk me out of it. But I never replied. I couldn't even bear to read them, so I stopped, and finally they stopped coming. I didn't like what I did or being out of her life, but I couldn't just watch her suffer. Sarah. Farkas? What do I say to her? Apologize, come on, Jesus. You're right, it's your decision to make. I hated seeing those guys harassing her over me, but if I were in her place, I wouldn't want someone making my decision for me either. I'm sorry about everything. I never asked for an apology. Even so, well, anyway, we should get to class. I know very well and turned to head into the building. I'm not sure what else to do. What else could I possibly say to make everything better, or to go back to the way things were? I don't think anything can do that, but at least she knows that I'm sorry, that I didn't want this. The school day goes as expected. I can't focus on anything, too busy feeling bad about what happened in the morning. After school, Hector finds me on my way home as usual. Hector notices my mood and attempts to cheer me up. But his antics don't have much impact. I just turn him out, lost in my own thoughts. But it turns out female hyenas actually have bigger dicks than males. I was just reading about. Sarah's over there. I noticed Sarah lingering at distance again. I tried to get her attention and wave her over. Sarah, it's okay. You are allowed to join us. Don't just. I cut myself off, shifting my attention to something up ahead of us. Hold up. I stop walking, looking at the path ahead. Hector stops when I do, following my gaze. Who the fuck are these? Up ahead, there are two figures approaching. They are wearing high-tech armor, but with furs, tattoos, and the apples that sort of make them look like Vikings. Whoa, that's cool, nice costumes. Bit early for Halloween, but Hector, shut the fuck up and stay back. I can tell from the look in their eyes that those are no costumes. I know what violent intent looks like when I see it. I haven't heard of these guys, but they will be far from the first gang to style themselves after honored ancestors. The most successful gangs have access to impressive gear, and the closer these people get to us, the more obvious it is that theirs is no joke. Their yappers glint as they step into the light of a street lamp. Are those exoskeletons? How the hell did they will be superhuman in those? You know, it's actually totally cool, forget what I said. I shoved Hector back and keep my eyes on the armored strangers, watching for sudden moves as I back us away, keep myself between them and him. But they don't seem to care, they just keep walking toward me. Wait, what? Aren't they here for Hector? He's the one who's actually worth something after all, but they are ignoring him. I could just be the biggest threat standing between them and their real target, but that's when I remember. Her voice rings in my head like a warning. Why are you getting into knife fights? I thought you were steering clear of all that now. A plate. Hector, run! There's no way we can outrun people in sewage like those, but if they want to focus on me, let them. Maybe then Hector can escape. I try to shove him away, but he digs his heels in and won't budge. I'm not leaving you. Just as I'm about to reply, one of the armored attackers jumps at me and tries to impale me with his sword. Luckily I managed to dive to the side, but that was close. These people are really trying to kill me. Fuck, I almost died. Why? What did I ever do to them? Hey asshole, at least introduce yourself before you try to kill someone. I tried to get in there with a disabling stomp to the side of his knee before he can swing again, but he definitely pivots away before my kick can land. Whoever these people are, they don't just have the best gear, they are well trained. I don't stand a chance against two of them. Farkas! Damn it, why didn't she just run? This way, leave them alone. Farkas, run! Why do both of them insist on trying to save me? There's no way we are all getting out of this. One of us has to. But they both know that, don't they? Just let me do this, you heroic idiots. No one else needs to suffer. Let me make up for everything. At first they ignore Sarah's attempts to drum them away, but she won't give up. She finds an empty bottle on the street and slings it to the woman's head, then starts running. No, Sarah! The woman dodges and closes the dispute shocking fast, her armor boosting her ability. Sarah only gets a couple steps before she's right on top of her. I lose my concentration and the guy I've been fighting kicks me in the gut, send me tumbling back. Sarah! Meanwhile, the other one grabs Sarah, pinning her arms to her sides and holding one of the axe blade angled up her against her neck. I'm warning you, let her go. I all but growl these words through my teeth, barely containing my anger. Who are you fuckers, huh? What's your problem with me? What's it to you? Were you the ones who attacked me before? Say something, come on. The humans stay out of this and you faces alone. Deal? The humans? While we are talking, I notice Hector moving around the side, as if looking for an opening. No time to figure this out. I have to do something. Sarah, Hector, I'm alone to protect both of them. It looks like Hector wants to help me save Sarah, but he'll be in danger if I let him. If I take the time to stop him, though, Sarah might die. I have to make a choice and live with consequences. Protect Sarah with Hector's help. I tried to focus on Sarah, she's the one in immediate danger, I'm not sure how, but I need to separate her from those sacks before this woman decides to step. I know actors think it's safe, moving around to flank her, prepared to help me. I'll have to trust him to create a distraction. I give him a nod, if you can buy me a second then I can save Sarah. For today, Hector, just for today, I'll trust that foolish bravery of yours. Ha! Hector lunged at the woman holding Sarah and having quietly made his way behind her while we were talking. Hector isn't super strong and he knows he can't fight, but he still does his best well. He grips her wrists in a kind of a bear hug from behind, trying to make sure she can't move them to cut Sarah. The woman whips her head backwards, bashing his face with the back of her skull and sending him stumbling back. With her captor distracted, Sarah is able to slip free, but Hector, no! Of course Hector will die. It was Sarah or Hector that had to die, right? One of them, or get injured. As soon as Hector's off the woman's back, the man with short sword sweeps around, plunging his blade into Hector's gut. I can't see Hector's blood. This is a nightmare. It has to be. There's no way this is real. I'll wake up from this soon, right? Please? Please wake me up, Ekla. Please wake me up so I never have to go through this again. Enough of this. Die. What happens next is hard to describe. It's like I lost consciousness, like I was gone and someone else took over, someone else inside my own body. And at that scream I felt like I was about to burst into flames. I moved to avoid another stab from the armored guy attacking me. Then I reached to my side. My chain? When did that get here? I let it fly, hurling it forward, and it catched the leg of the guy in front of me. I jerk it toward me and jab an elbow down into his chest and he falls onto his back. The concrete cracks under him with the impact. Where did his strength come from? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. I have to keep going. I can't stop. I can't slow down. I charge second assailant, swing my chain. With a cry of alarm, Sarah rushed toward Hector as he collapsed to the ground. The woman plows straight through Sarah on her way to me, not even taking her eyes off me as she knocks Sarah to ground. She raised one axe as if to quickly follow her shove, with a swing and be done with the obstacle Sarah has become. My chain quickly whips around her wrist to stop her. She still hurls the other axe at me from her free hand, but I lean away, letting it fly past, and then yank her toward me into a punch from my other hand, doubling the force of the impact. Ha! I punch again, harder than I thought possible. She falls unconscious, defeated. Both attackers lie crumpled on the ground, blood burbling out as they try to breathe. They are still alive then. And so, I will really kill them? I will kill them. Dude, what's the difference? Yeah, there's no choice to be made here. I can't stop myself, I have to kill these people. I don't care why they attacked me. They attacked Hector and Sarah. They stabbed Hector. They have to die. Farkas. Hector grips my arm. I stop just I stop just short of smashing the skulls of two unconscious assailants at my feet. It's okay. Stop, please. Hector wraps an arm around my torso to hold me back. I feel the warm blood seeping from his wound, even as he grips it with his other arm. This guy, he's bleeding, possibly dying, but he's still more worried about saving lives and possibly me from losing myself. I turn to both of them, suddenly notice the warmth running down my cheeks. I'm crying. It's okay, it's not so bad. I'll call an ambulance. Sitting up from where she lay on the ground, Sarah seems to be freaking out as much as I am. I look up to the security cameras over the nearby intersection, gazing blankly down at us. What are the people on the other end thinking? Do they actually give a damn? Are they doing their best just strap at the focus source like the rest of us? Do they have higher priorities? Are there people on the other end anymore, or just an AI optimizing for something? If Hector sent out an immersed call on his maybe that made a difference, but for now, they'll take forever. There's a hospital nearby. I'll carry you. Don't die on me before we get there. Sorry, I got in the way. I wanted to be a hero, but I can't do anything. I can't fight like you, Farkas. I'm sorry. As my eyes fill with tears, Hector starts to lose consciousness. I need to run. Sarah, just let them know we are coming. I lift him up into my arms, start moving, calling back to her as I go, telling them this Hector Koskinen. He's super rich, they'll definitely pay attention. Sarah wipes her tears and nods. Okay, got it. While she calls the nearby hospital, I run with all my might, carrying Hector. It's been 2 hours. I brought Hector here. They immediately took him in. They are operating now, giving him proper medical attention. I don't know, maybe he's already dead. And if he is, isn't that my fault? I became his friend, and look what happened. I knew he was like that, always jumping into trouble. I knew it, yet I wanted a friend. Something cold and soft touched my hand. It's Sarah. She's looking at me with worried eyes. You did what you could, Farkas. Don't worry, you'll make. You don't know that? I pull away, shoving a hand off me. Yet Sarah doesn't pull away or seem mad. We don't know if he will be alright. I control my words more careful this time, trying to make them less harsh, but my ass still trail away from her, caught up in my own worries. Why do I care about this guy so much? It's been a couple of weeks. He was my first friend in a long time, someone I felt I could talk to. I don't want to lose him. I know, Sarah smiles, but whatever happens, Farkas, this wasn't your fault. Those people in armor, they were my fault. Sarah seems confused. Why would they were after me? And I don't think this is the first time I fought them. The other day when I came home injured, I hold up my hand to show her what I'm talking about. The bandage is gone now, but the mark is still visible across my palm. I've been cut up, and it just feels like this has happened before. But I don't know why. They seem like assassins. Yeah. So I don't know. It's weird. It's all weird. Nothing makes any sense. Sarah seems just as clueless as I am. She inched closer. I have to go home soon or my parents will be mad, but I called your mom. Come on, you know Echo's not my mom, just my adult supervisor. Right. But anyway, I called her and let her know what's happening. Thank you. She said it's alright if you want to stay here for the night. Okay. I could bring you food and a blanket if. I'm fine. Alright, good night, Farkas. Good night. Sarah looks troubled that she has to leave me, but finally she turns and goes. I watch people come and go, with painful coughs and with injuries, and I'm just waiting for news, any news. Time passes, and every tick of the clock without news makes me want to scream. Anything will be fine, better than waiting. Hey you! Okay, maybe not this. Approaching me is the man with a private actor's butler or whatever. Mikhail, that was his name. He reaches down and grabs my collar, pulling me up. I return his greeting with a dull, tired glare. Hey, don't you hate me? What happened to Hector? What kind of rhetoric question is that? If he's here at all, he knows exactly what state Hector is in. I know doesn't know why it happened, but neither do I. We got into a fight and he got hurt. It was all my fault. With his free arm, Mikhail whips his fist around, backhanding me across the face. I don't try to stop him, I just take it, but fuck, he knows how to swing. How dare you drag your supposed friends into danger like that? Don't you know how little freedom Hector gets? Do you have any idea how much trouble he goes through twisting his package schedule around just to spend time with you? He hasn't exactly had friends to speak of. He trusted you. Holy shit. He's a completely different person when he's this pissed. Where did the Hector family find a blood like this? Off the street? It almost feels like someone from my gang right now. Damn it, this is why I avoid people. I don't want them getting hurt. But for some reason, this shit keeps finding me like a magnet, and whoever with me pays the price. Fuck. I know you care about Hector. I haven't known him long, but I do too. I don't have many friends either. It's the last thing I want for him or Sarah to be in danger. Excuse me. While Mikael and I were yelling at each other, one of the doctors approached. The doctor eyes us apprehensively, frowning and waiting for our attention. Apologies. Do you have news for us, doctor? Mikhail drops me and his demeanor immediately shifts into polite professionalism. His stance, even his accent, completely changed. It might be polished, but it's definitely a facade. The real guy was the one about to slug me just now. I can see why he might serve as a sort of combined butler and bodyguard, if that's what he is. He's a fierce in what he does. I kind of respect that as much as I hate to admit it. He must have been really upset to break character and come at me like that. Yes, well, regarding Hector Koskinen, he lost a lot of blood, but it's fortunate he got here so quickly. He needs rest, but surgery was successful, and he'll recover. Mikhail breathes a sigh of relief. So he's out of danger? He'll live then. The doctor nods. Yes, so long as he can avoid any more scraps like that. Anyway, I should head back. Stay safe. I slumped down into my seat, the nervous tension melting from my body. Mikhail turns to me. He frowns as if realizing something. I'm sorry about just now. I lost my composure. I can see that you were just as worried as I was. I can't blame you. Hector's always been a daredevil. Maybe you'll learn his lesson this time. I'll do what I can to make amends. Just go take care of Hector or whatever else you need to do. I'm out of here. Now hold on. I don't want to be here when he wakes up. Tell him we are not friends anymore. You're fine with that, right? It will keep him out of trouble. Mikhail frowns. No, I don't think. Tough luck. Bye. I don't wait for his response, heading straight out the door and onto the street before I can change my mind. I let out a breath as I turned out the road that will take me back home. But before ending there, I stopped back at the spot where the fight was. I need to know what happened after we left those two there unconscious. But the attackers are gone. There's nothing on the ground, not even blood. I don't see signs of any investigation here either. So it's not like the police took them in. I take a bit of time to walk around, looking for a trail of blood if I can find any. I don't see any trail, but I know the evening shift at some of these shops, and they are able to tell me what they saw. It's not a big street, and it's normally pretty quiet. So sure enough, they all noticed, and we're ready to record and rave about the first exo switch anyone had spotted in city. They all kept their distance, I don't blame them. Some posted about it, some called the police, and of course they recognized me and assume my chain must be some kind of crazy tech to beat switch like those two had. Extra armor is no joke. I didn't expect anyone in the city to get their hands on it. Some gangs in the world have, but it's basically impossible unless you are super rich or some kind of black ops. Might as well be a legend. So someone without any real gear fitting on not only one but two people in Switch unheard of. But I'll let them think what they want. I don't have answers anyway. Based on the armor style, they assume it's a neo-pagan gang, but none of them can give me a name. No one actually knows who those people were, and no one can tell me when or how they disappeared. They were lying on the ground one moment, and then next people looked, they were gone. If anyone saw what happened, it's the city security cameras, but no one with access to that data is actually around here. Fuck, they really got away. Hector's survival was the priority, but it sucks that I can't track these people. Now I won't know when or if they will come for me again, or how many there are. I feel a cold sweat come over me, and my eyes widen. I just realized it. If they were able to find me, they might know where I live. Heckle could be next. They could be on their way to the Ice and Dice right now, or already there. It's a pub. It's open to the public. They could just go in and fuck. I start running home in a desperate sprint. Hecla. I call out her name as soon as I get through the door. Farkas, what's wrong? I realize everything is normal at the pub and I just embarrass myself. The patrons all turn to stare at me. Nothing, I shake my head trying to drive away the image of death and disaster. You don't seem alright? Yeah, I suppose I don't. I try to get close to someone for a change and they get stabbed. Will I just cause balls for everyone until I die? Am I cursed? But if I say that out loud, it will sound ridiculous, so I don't. I just. Sarah called and told me what happened. Are you alright? Also, Hector. I sighed, shaking my head. Everything's okay. Hector will make it. I just. You feel guilty, don't you? Of course I do. What do you think? Listen, it's not your fault. In situations like this, you just push people away. You always have, but because you do, you lose track of what's important. I won't tell you not to feel sad that your friend got hurt, but isn't it wonderful that you have these friends who care about you? So don't look down on act and share kindness. Don't turn away from them. Try to get closer to those you care about. Getting hurt is part of life, but if you have people who care about you, that makes it bearable. Helga knows why I distanced myself from Sarah, why I stopped being her friend. I never straight out explain any of it, but she still knows. I guess she's just like that. And I know she's right, but the pain I feel when others are hurt and it feels like my fault, is still there. No matter how I think about it or what I tell myself, I feel my eyes watering as I go upstairs to take a shower and try to get some sleep. Okay, so now I'll tell you. The three officers who had been in the van lead me past the front desk, down a sterile-looking corridor to a meeting room. Once inside, they removed their helmets, which smoothly fold up to a stash on their belts. I tried again to see if I could get message through to Joanne and my parents as soon as we were out of the van, but of course I still have no reception. Two officers stay with me in the room while the other heads out down the hall. Not long after, the officer who left turns alongside a man in a pressed and polished business suit, contrasting with the armored gear of the special force officer. A pleasure to meet you, Miss Mishra. He extends a hand to shake mine, and I stand and take it, though after a slight pause. I'm not sure whether I should be surprised that you know my surname. Does that mean you have been watching me, or do you just know things about everybody? I noticed the calm poise that has already returned to my voice, and honestly I'm a little shocked. It's been less than an hour since I was facing death, both mine and that of people around me, and yet it all might as well have happened in another lifetime, for how distant I feel from it now. Another lifetime. It's funny because I just keep coming back to the feeling of being like a veteran. Someone who's already seen much worse than this and yet keeps going. Admittedly, just getting your image from the city security cameras will have been enough to quickly run facial recognition, but it gives a slight open palm shrug like he's putting everything on the table. Perfectly trustworthy, right? I should admit that in fact we have an eye on you of late. In fact, we are hoping you can help us. But I'm getting ahead of myself. My name is Director Alan Talling. Ah, so you are English then, based on your name and accent. Most Icelanders speak English, so at first I thought you'll just done a very cool job learning the accent. Yes, in fact, I'm not part of the Icelandic police force at all. You see, what we are dealing with is much larger than any one nation, so our organization have been banding together to some degree. I work for British military intelligence. He gestures toward the chairs surrounding the meeting table and goes to sit down. I have to admit that your name stood out to me as well. A Sanskrit surname, but a given name of Greek origins. Well, I mean, my dad is from Amsterdam and my mom is from Greece, but you probably knew all that already. The database does, but as for me, I'm just a mortal man who does his best to keep up with his briefings. He smiles pleasantly. I'm sure you do more than that if you are a director within military intelligence, but this isn't what we are here to talk about, is it? What are you up against? I glance around at the three officers sitting with us at the table. They have been quiet this whole time, seeming to let the director say everything. Komani, please bring the relic here. The woman will be my guide, tells Sapphire stands. Yes, sir, this is exact publicized, but there have always been elements in our organization that sought to understand the esoteric, or whatever useful incentive truth there may be behind it. As such, with our intelligence research, we have accumulated data on the unexplained over the years, and have gradually formed a clear picture. The door slides open again to reveal Komani carrying a small case in both hands, about the size of a backpack. She sets it on the table and opens it. The director gestures toward the contents. Take a look. I stand to get a better view. Inside is a small wooden chest, weathered with time. Its sides adorned with runes that remind me of the Futhark alphabets used by the Old Norse and their ancestors, but I can't quite make them out. Go ahead and open it. I hesitate, my hand hovering over the chest. It's really alright to touch it? I don't want to accidentally damage something priceless, but he gestures toward it reassuringly. Please. I reached for the ancient chest within its modern protective case, easing its lid off with both hands and setting it aside on the table. As I do, a chill rush through my body. Anticipation? Inside is an apple. A perfect fresh and ordinary looking apple. Such a strikingly mundane object inside of this ominous looking chest. It just leaves me staring. It's so bizarre that I have to stifle a laugh. Did someone use this to start a snack? What? Why put that in there? The eyes of everyone in the room are now on the apple, leaning forward to see into the chest. So it's true. So what's true? No one put the apple in there. No one else was able to open the box to do this for them. But just to be sure, let's try again. Would you like to have this one? He gestures towards the apple. Have it? Yes, try a bite of it. He seems completely serious. Normally this will seem ridiculous, but after the experience of the past day, I'm almost prepared to believe him. I'm intrigued. Komani thinks I'm reckless. No, let's please Komani. Run. How about fuck no? Thinks I'm boring. Very well, then I'll take it. He reaches into the box to take the apple and then sets the lid back on top once it's empty. He turns the fruit around in his hand, but he doesn't eat it yet. And, for a good measure, he lifts the lid again himself to show that the box remains empty, then closes it and motions toward me. Now open the chest again. I cock my head at him, browse through it, but slowly reach forward to remove the lid once again. There's another apple inside. The instant I see it, I'm overcome with a piercing sense of deja vu, and a buzzing sensation through my body so sudden and intense that it scares me. I drop the lid on the table with a clank, jerking back. After a couple of breaths, I get my bearings. Why is it affecting me like this? I mean, things appear inside of box, it's about the most basic thing you'll see at a magic show, and yet that strange buzz is still lingering, tingling across my skin. I reach into the case, feeling around the inside and outside of the wooden box to check for a trick button. Trick button, not button. Is this some kind of magic trick? It isn't a trick, or at least it isn't one that we created. I gest at the chest, perplexed. Why show me this? We think it's yours. Mine? Why would I own a box that generates infinite apples? Not only that, there's something else I was eager to test. If anyone was able to get that chest to work. I realize this isn't exactly a scientifically rigorous test procedure, but he also again studies the apple in his hand, then finally takes a bite of it. Hermione's eyes widen at him, as if she wasn't expecting him to do something so reckless, but she holds her tongue. As he chews and swallows, it's as if his skin begins to glow with energy. His features somehow become malleable as they shift and smooth. After a moment, his face is clearly that on the same man, but where before there was a lined face and grey hair, oh, become younger? Now there's the face of a young man seemingly fresh out of university. The officer stands staring. His eyes go out of focus, seeming to study something on his head. No doubt his own image from discreet cameras. My goodness, what the hell is going on? I look to Komani and then to the other two officers, trying to gauge what they thought of all this. So you really have seen things like this? I knew the assassins had tech we don't understand, but nothing so spectacular as this until now, not personally. Thought of course I'll seen the report of our predecessors. He looks back at me. As you might guess, apples from the chest are said to restore youth and health. Since you are still a teenager and aren't terribly injured, it won't do much to you. But as for me, what makes you think this is mine? Other than the fact that you are the only one who's been able to make it work ever since it was found. I assume your parents didn't tell you all the details about your early life, but there are certain signs associated with the rebirths of the 80s. Also said the obscure, largely oral records we found of ourselves digging into. Uh, Jotun is a Norse goddess was responsible for maintaining the gods' immortality by feeding them rejuvenating apples. I heard about that. She isn't one of the most famous Norse of the 80s, so it must have slipped in my mind. So you are saying that's me? This is this is just too surreal. What's saying my parents knew but kept from me? I'm not sure I really buy into this story. But whatever's actually going on here, I want to know, so I might as well keep him talking and see what I can learn. You are one of the handful of beings we have been keeping an eye on, but mostly important, there is one who is, if left alone, could cause the very destruction of this world. That's why we need the help of individuals such as yourself. We may not stand a chance against supernatural force unless we have supernatural allies. I sit down again, heavily and with a sigh. I'll be standing ever since we start inspecting the chest. I know it's a lot and it's strange for all of us, but one way or another, we have got to deal with this. So what exactly am I supposed to help with? Does someone need to be made younger? Aside from side pointing us to kill to people like you, we have been tracking signs associated with other events. Specifically in recent years, there have been far too many occurrences to ignore, which correlate to the prophecy of Ragnarok, 3 winters without summer. Among other things, I see you have some awareness of Norse mythology, but we have gone much deeper than what one can find on a public search engine. But as far what you probably heard, winters, skies stuck in a grey, overcast twilight, wars, division of humanity against itself, until finally the events of Ragnarok truly begin with wolves swallowing the sun and moon, with earthquakes as Fenrir's wolf breaks free, also known as Fenrir. That's one story I definitely know, which in turn breaks Loki's prison as well, and together as father and son they seek destruction of both this world and the gods. Revenge for their binding and torment. I can tell you I've enjoyed studying these stories. It showed in the way he spoke of them, as if for a moment we weren't in a conference room at all, but gathered around the fire while he and some village elder gave his dramatic rendition of the ancient tales. Yes, well, there is something poetic about it all, but at any rate, he says this briskly and coldly, as if attempting to move the conversation along. Is he embarrassed? It's kind of funny seeing this side of him. I know that he looks so much younger. Well, I am actually finding him cute right now. Seriously, Brain. Uh, it's interesting. It seems wrong. To have seen his real age and then to see this, there's just something off about it. Some sort of mismatch, something unnatural, like a much older being trapped in a young body. Then again, if what he says is true, I guess you could say the same about me. Thought I don't think I see it that way. Until I remember being that old, I might as well not be. But there's also something else strange about him, something I can't quite put a finger on. Have I seen him somewhere before? Is something wrong? You seem distracted. Oh, just tired probably. Anyway, there remains to be serious business of how we handle this. We can't allow the world to be torn apart by supernatural force. And so we find the real world equivalent of this Fenrir and ensure that he remains bound. I don't see how apples help with that. What we need is a deity capable of actually doing the binding. And more than one deity. If we can manage, a legendary beast like that is nothing to trifle with. But I don't really know how to fight. I mean, I've had self-defense class before, but I raised my palms in a shrug. If you are expecting me to have special powers, then I have no idea how to use them, if I even have them. I'm not too concerned about that. He puts the lid back on the box again and slits it toward me across the table. I suspect that reunited with these, things will start coming back to you. As you just saw, they already have. How do you propose to trap something like Fenrir? Or do you expect me to improvise? Similar to how it was done in the Legends, with a tie of legendary strength, another relic. So I'm just there for magical protection in case something goes wrong? Not exactly. You see, there's only one tie we know of that's strong enough to stop Fenrir, but it's in bad shape. Gleipnir, an unnatural strong chain. There we go, that's our crack that has. Finn as Silken Ribbon has held him all this time and is only now starting to give away. If it's going to continue doing its job, then it needs to be mended. If the dwarves who made it could be found, they might be able to repair it, but given what we have been able to find so far, as a goddess of rejuvenation and healing, you are currently our best bet. We can't feed in an apple to a metaphysical chain. We need you, not just an object made by some previous version of you. Yeah, I have several questions. Holy shit. Are you really saying Norse mythology is the one true religion and the rest are just wrong? Not at all. I'm using Norse terminology right now because it's the most relevant to current events, but we have some knowledge of the truth behind a variety of traditions. Of course, there are also many things we don't know, as you've seen, but we know enough to realize that a proactive approach is sometimes necessary as it's now. And yet you are saying a goddess who in the past was always associated with the Norse as an outside to incarnate into my family? Neither of my parents have Norse ancestors, not that I know of. You misunderstand. Specific ancestry is by no means a requirement. These beings don't belong to one culture or another, even though different cultures may remember them in different ways. We don't know all the cultures that each of them interact with, or all the different names they went by when they did, but we've put together enough of these connections to know that these beings got around. Perhaps some more than others, but still. So you're saying the one called Yohun by the Norse could have been known by other names elsewhere around the world? Exactly. Thought you may need to remember the details for yourself. Our records are unfortunately incomplete. What do you have in your records though that you can talk about? What other gods are we dealing with, and who were they to different cultures? Some of it is still speculation, but let's see. There's quite a bit of overlap between the legends of various lightning and thunder gods known across Indo-European history. The Baltic god Perkunus and the Slavic god Perun, the Hindu god Indra, the Celtic god Teranish, Ukko from Finnish mythology, and of course Thor. Many of them are considered defenders of humanity, read chariots pulled by goats and wield hammers of Orax. You left out Zeus. Is there a reason? So I did. Let me put this way: we are confident that several of these names refer to the same individual, but not that all of them do. There are certainly those who link Thor to Zeus or Jupiter, but in my professional opinion, their personalities seem different. Separate individuals who are cut from the same cloth in some regards, perhaps. I'll say the same about the connection between the wisdom lovers Odin, Thoth, and Hermes. The last two are clearly the same person, even medieval alchemists knew that much. We believe he's an ancient mage who visited Greece and Egypt. But there's a warrior spirit about Odin that sets him apart, again, in my professional opinion. Wait, mage? One whose magic, or whatever the supernatural forces are. You could also say god, the lines are blurred, so humans can become gods. More like humans have called a lot of different things gods, but that doesn't mean those things are all the same. Some might have just been very powerful or wise humans, others might have other origins entirely. Beings from the other planes, that sort of thing. He lightly shifts his weight, clearing his throat and is smiling. I'm rambling, aren't I? I shouldn't let you get me started. We have plenty to cover that's more relevant to our current task. But you are saying you think there is a Zeus out there somewhere doing Zeus things, like impregnating everything in sight, or at least there was? He smirks cold naturally. No comment, you don't have a clearance to know everything. Let's focus on Ragnarok. A concerned look in his eyes, the director simply shakes his head. It won't matter. If we understand correctly, if the wolf's full supernatural spirit becomes unshackled, the disruption will free Loki. And I don't think we can ever trust Loki. And why will you need to tell us what we are? That's one of the mysteries in all this, but one thing we know is that these beings whom history calls gods are weaker now than they used to be, are less able to take physical form or access the human world at all. Perhaps starting again as a human infant is the best that many of them can manage in order to take action on the eve of Ragnarok, or at least a potential Ragnarok. We still have hope of averting it. If they are weaker, then that means their war will be easier to stop, right? It buys us some time, but as soon as they remember who they are, they still have power beyond what any human war has known. What could have made them weaker in the first place? Who knows? Perhaps the world just used it to be a more magical place? He shrugs. But that doesn't make supernatural any less dangerous when it does rear its head. Well, based on who would want you dead in all of these, I can only assume they are working for Loki. But didn't it say Loki is still trapped? Yes, if he weren't, I'll imagine you'll have a lot more trouble on our hands, and it will be impossible for the public to ignore. But that doesn't mean he couldn't have followers out in the world doing what they can in the meantime. They may not have any idea what help we are seeking from, or I hope they don't. But if Loki's revenge includes destroying the gods, then not only are you among their number, but you are the one who keeps them immortal. You are saying you want to make sure I don't save them? More or less, as far as we can assume anyway. Since the earth isn't cracking open just yet, we can assume it's still on Fenrir. Thought it must be starting to fray since an element of Fenrir has appeared in the world. That's why we are tracking. Even if the bulk of the world's power is still bound on Fenrir. Komani makes a quotation marks with her fingers. We don't even know if there's a physical chain. If it's something that binds the spirit, it might be more like a spell. So you want me to heal this spirit chain, and that's what will strengthen a kind of binding spell? Sounds like as good a way to describe it as anything I can think of. To make a long story short, one of our contacts is arranging for Fenrir, or at least the aspect of it that manifested in the world, to be at a specific secure location. Once that's all in place, we can bring you in to repair the bonds, hopefully without too much of a fight. Between now and then, you have some time to remember how to do what you do. Do what I do? I don't even know where to start. At this point, we can only pray that it comes back to you before it comes back to our enemies. Hopefully the box will help. Is that all you got? He tilts his head. Try to remember your early childhood in Amristar. Oops. What happened around each time you had to move? How many places around the world have you lived at this point? I sit back in my chair, eyes trailing up the wall thinking. You don't have to answer right now. We have accommodation for you here, where you can stay here in safety until the time comes. Stay, what about my family? What are they supposed to think? They are aware of more than you realize, so don't worry. They all know you are safe. I studied him for a moment. His phrasing is vague and his tone is gentle, but he's very clearly implying that it doesn't intend to explain more. Why can't you give me the whole story? To avoid compromising them, of course, we have to be extremely careful in times such as these. What happens if I decline to be part of your plan? We aren't going to threaten you, but we can't, in good cause, allow you to go out there on your own and get yourself killed. Does that mean I'm a prisoner here? Do you really want to leave? We have explained what's at stake. Ah, perhaps I do. Yeah, they don't like concern, finds unreasonable. Yeah, that will be stupid. There we go. It's more the principle of the thing. It's really no difference from witness protection. He shrugs with a sigh, as if to say that he isn't happy about the situation, but it is what it is. We have to keep an eye on you, and not just for your own safety, but ultimately for everyone else as well. In the meantime, why don't we show you where you'll be staying, as well as the mess hall? I'm sure you must be getting hungry. He stands, motioning motioning toward the door. The officers follow with us, not saying much. I start to wonder if I ever going to be without armored escort. The base has bunks like I might expect, but they show me a separate room where they intend for me to sleep. It isn't luxurious, but it's clean, with its own sink and toilet in addition to the bed. I guess that saves me having to be escorted to the bathroom every time. The mess hall is also simple and sterile inside. Though the food isn't terrible. Other personnel come and go and pass by us in the halls. I can't help but notice them glancing our way, sometimes talking among themselves, but they otherwise go about their business. I find myself checking my mess instinctively to see if there are any more from Joanne's, but of course there is no reception. Maybe that's why no one bothered taking my phone for security reasons. Eventually I'm alone with my thoughts in my room. The closets have what must have been stylish uniforms, minus any signs of rank. That at least allows me to a change of underwear before crawling to bed. They left the relic chest with me, and now it sits on a small desk beside the closets. I look at it out of the corner of my eye as I lie on my back on top of the sheets, feeling too ill at ease to really snuggle into them. What have I done to make an apple appear? Could I remember feeling any different? And what about those things the director alluded to in my childhood? Did that hold some clue as to how I might do something? Something supernatural? Finally, the exertion of the day catch up to me, and I fall asleep. At first, my sleep is nothing but unconscious darkness, but then I'm in a corridor of stone masonry, punctuated by pillars along the walls and covered by decorative arch of vaulted ceilings. I'm walking somewhere like I know where I'm going. I arrive at a heavy wooden door, which I push open. On the other side, I'm struck by what seems like a chaotic mess. People are lying on the floor in various states of injury and sickness, while others circulate tending to them. It takes me a moment to start seeing the order in the chaos, the way in which these people have been laid out, and the clockwork movements of their caretakers, bandaging them, feeding them, administering treatments I don't immediately recognize. Are these victims of some sort of attack, disease, both? I find myself moving farther into the room and I become aware of something in my arms. I've been carrying a basket of bread rolls. One of the caretakers approached me and I start to register more about her appearance. She's dressed as a nun. She speaks to me. It isn't English, or at least not modern English, but I understand it clearly. I must start delivering the bread I brought to those who can eat it. I do so without a question. This way, this was obviously what I came to do. Leaning down next to each bird, check if they are awake, offering them a roll. There's a young man who gratefully takes bread I offer, but before he can eat, he begins coughing violently. It seems he can barely breathe, and I noticed blood trailing from his mouth. It looks like the other character, Farkas, right? I worry that he's going to suffocate, and reach forward in concern, even thought I don't know how I could help. I feel my hand pulled somehow into his chest where it sticks like a magnet. I'm sure I could pull it away if I really wanted to, but I feel like I should leave it there. This feels important. I feel a rush of energy down my arm, tingling, warming my palm. My eyes widen. This sensation grows until it's nearly overwhelming. As I look down my arm at him, I notice my sleeve, my outfit, the clothing of this lifetime. But even then, I can't bring myself into focus. I can't remember my own face. Who am I? The man stares at me, his coughing paused, the roll having dropped from his hand onto his blanket. He instinctively clasps his hand over mine as his breathing comes slow and deep, as if he'd been dying at off first and is now gripping a pitcher of water to his mouth. The rush of energy through my arm surges with each of his breaths, but eventually the feeling becomes more gentle and then fades. He releases my hand, nodding weakly and murmuring his thanks with surprised yet grateful eyes still locked on mine. And then he sinks back, leaning back against the wall and resting peacefully, his breath coming easily. His bread remains uneaten for now, but I leave it with him. Whatever I felt was nothing the others could see. To them, it just looked like I was watched with concern as he regained his breath. But I knew something had happened. Time becomes more fluid now, moving from this particular day forward, and I see myself offering similar treatment to others coming through this place. Instinctively, quietly, I'm not a doctor, I'm just a novice. Then I'm sitting in some sort of library, studying when a set of footsteps approach behind me. Turning, I see a priest, flanked by two armored guards. I stand slowly. Is something wrong, father? The voice is different from mine, but it's nonetheless comes from me. You are aware of the Cardinal's visit. The Inquisition has been reviewing our ranks, and they have heard testimony about your activities. There is both hardness and sadness in his eyes. This man knows me, perhaps since I was a child growing up here. During your service to the refugees, you resorted to witchcraft, tapping into dark powers to mend their bodies, but in doing so, put their souls in jeopardy, as well as your own. What? But they heal it. The demons don't do that. If they heal it, then it's by the grace of God. Please. There is sorrow in his voice, his eyes downcast for a moment. We all know that such miracles won't manifest in you, not without some sort of infernal contract. And you knew how it would look. Why else would you keep it secret? The Inquisition may yet be able to save you and purge you of this, but you must come with us. But purge it? How? He hesitates. By burning the evil from you before finally offering you back to the Lord. Burning, but even heretics at most are just imprisoned. Perhaps a supposed hedge which, pretending that pagan superstitions and spells actually work, might be treated like that. Because that sort of witchcraft is as fake as the pagan gods themselves, it's simple ignorance more easily forgiven. The witchcraft we have to worry about is the kind that involves dark force, who can grant real power for a real price. What you are able to do is nothing, it's like nothing I ever seen. You have done something real. And that's a lot more dangerous than some yokel who still thinks Holy and Thor actually exists. So please. His voice is soft, but his gesture firm as his motion toward the door. His eyes now locked on mine, but I don't move, frozen, staring at him. Can he really be saying that I have to die? No. The guards hurry forward, reaching out to take my arms and drag me out with him. I raise my hands defensively, warding them off, as if my arms could shield me, not only from the guards but from the crumbling, hopeless future I see before me. No! A surge of energy rushed through my body, similar to when I offered healing, but more urgent than Fox. Not a flow, but a pulse. The guards stop, as if facing a mighty wind that blows back against them, then lose their footing and start to slide and stumble back. The priest stares in amaze and terror, bracing himself against the blast of pressure radiating from my hands. I stare back, just as dumbfounded. I've never seen anything like this before either. A final burst erupts from me, throwing the guards backward through the air to crash into walls behind them. The priest pushed back to his feet. I lower my hands, staring at them. My palms feel like they are burning, but they look normal. Now, quickly! But before the guards can move in again, another voice booms from the doorway behind them all. Stop! I looked at a silhouette there, which takes shape as it comes into the room, and I recognize the distinct sign of the cardinal's robes. And his face as well. It's the face of an older man I don't remember seeing before, and yet I recognize him. Uh, the director, Sister Judith. We have much to discuss. Chapter 0, Farkas Part 3. Alright, but as you can you save? You can save by clicking left, right mouse button. So, if you like visual novels, like the design of the characters, like when it's like a fight or certain parts you can see like it's well done, like when he was reliving the past when he was to the gang and then he had to separate from Sarah, it was well done. Like the designs, they're well done when it's parts like more the important parts. It's well done. So if you like visual novels that have choice that will impact the game, of course, a lot of dialogue as you can see. You can buy the game in early access on Steam. Don't forget, in early access, it's already available. And of course, like they say in the early access thing, that the season 1 is to have 20 chapters, but as of now, only 5 chapters are available. Of course, throughout the early access, they're gonna release more chapters, of course. So, if you like this type of games, you can buy it already. Of course, I don't know if the price is gonna increase or not when it gets to full release. I think it will because it will have more chapters, more voice acting, a lot of narrative. So probably it will increase. So if you like this type of games, yeah, and you don't mind being in early access, then I would recommend to buy immediately, because you get as a cheaper price than buying the full price when it comes out in full release. So yeah, but again, you need to like these type of games. You need to like visual novel games where there's a lot of narrative that has choice that will impact the story, and of course, like it said, the relationships and with other characters, and you can even have romanceable characters depending on what you choose, of course. So, but yeah, so if you like it, you can buy the game that is in on Steam, that is in early access. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy your gameplay. So, and see you guys next time. Bye.